I sent it. I sent it to his. I sent it to him on Twitter, and I sent it to him on Discord. So
I
it's all
just
good.
needed to check because the way you went off, it sounded like maybe.
Well, because it's tier. I mean, we have to remind him to breathe, and this is definitely a step beyond.
Ha! Funny.
Oh,
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Midnight Show. We have the guest one, Tom Hammer. He's running a little late, but he'll hop on when he can. If he don't, show will continue. I will play the intro and I will get into the topics. Hold on. Where is it? Yep, there it is. All right. Well,
you might
here's
play
the
the
intro.
intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Welcome to the Midnight Show with the Midnight Crew. Rotncorpse, Angela Arriaga, James Colley, WillItForge, and our host, Peter Alexander. With special guest, the One-Ton Hammer. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin.
Good evening,
I was
everybody.
going to say, we have an introduction.
Oh man.
Sort of,
Kinda. Again, ladies and gentlemen, James is not with us tonight. His phone is still down. He is still part of the show. He's off punishment, because of the last incident with Kyivedam and the stream going down. I'm blaming him. When he gets back, he'll get back.
Who's got yelling in the background?
I'm sorry.
I was just curious.
That would be my nephews. If it gets bad, let me know and I'll close my door. But
It's all
I'm
good.
trying to not
He'll
spontaneously combust.
Kevin and Frosted. He will be here when he gets here. I can't make him rush, but show will go on till then. So, all right. What I wanted to bring up earlier was I believe I was listening to someone talk about the Olympics, and they said in the last couple of years there have been only two cities to apply for to host the Olympics. The first one being Paris, and the second one being, guess what? It's in your neck of the woods, Angela. Guess what city?
What, San Francisco?
Nope.
I would say LA.
Yep.
Well, we know it's not Oakland.
Hey, Stream Uncle, what up?
Wait. Oh wow. Hey bro.
Yeah.
Dream Uncle's here.
And the LA one I realize will be. I know why they're doing it, and they said since usually in the past they had like 4 or 5 cities all begging or applying to host the Olympics, but lately they only gotten 2. So Paris being one of them, and LA being the second. So they said
It is so economically bad for the cities doing it.
Yeah,
every single place that does it loses money.
Yeah, and I don't see it being a viable thing on the grounds. That's kind of funny.
Well, it's also not something that's cared about much anymore. It's a lot of the Olympics have lost its muster. Like, all anyone really cares about anymore is the memes, because there's the one dude who crushed 5 fucking gold medals that he went for, and nobody gives a shit. And it's like, yeah, because most people are struggling to survive nowadays. No one gives a shit.
Yes. Well, even then, if they go ahead. I'm about to say, even they did. LA is California is broke.
It would bring in tourism dollars
Yeah, but it costs the city more than it makes
Would
from
yeah,
the
it would
tourism.
cost. All right, so in my city, we hosted exactly two indie Grand Prix with
Hold
the.
on just a second, since
Go-
I don't know if you read the news. Some might actually attempt to clean up the feces and homeless people.
Nah.
There was an actual picture of him, at least a little bit helping clean up one of the homeless encampments that he had shut down. And he's like, it was like, the right wing are supposed to be losing their minds. And donut operator is like, you polish a turd, it's still a turd.
yeah, but
Did you know
all right,
that
so-
donut operator is like one of the top 10 influential fucking people on Twitter?
I can imagine.
And he used to
But-
bully Tony Gonzalez, which is hysterical.
Really?
Well, fucking Tony Gonzalez deserved it.
But I wanted to say, when my city hosted the two indie Grand Prix, it cost the city far more than it made.
That's been the story of the Olympics for decades.
Yeah. So, and that would just all right. The massive undertaking. First off, the civilian, the residents, we see cars all the fucking time. Like us seeing cars running up and down the street isn't something new. It blocked up several major arteries of traffic. The restaurants paid for liquor licenses to serve liquor outdoors, and they didn't make the money back, and the city didn't pay off the vendors. Like, and we hosted it twice.
That's actually, you're not making any arguments against LA doing it because this is all stuff that's normal in LA.
Well, no, I'm saying that. I'm just saying because again, it is a massive undertaking, and with the international community, and this is just something they did, with the Grand Prix. You'd have to host international. You have to have tons of hotels. You'd have to have tons of security. You have to have a big enough venue. You also have to have.
Well, what it's meant to do is it's meant to hopefully generate ad revenue and tourism revenue in the future. Like that's what it's meant to do, is to bring people there, and also bring people there during during those events. But less people are traveling for those year after year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta hope, because I don't think an Olympic city has made money in my lifetime.
yeah.
It
Again,
is a horrifically expensive undertaking versus the tourist money it brings in for even the next 5 years. And you look at some of those Olympic villages and some of the sporting complexes they built for stuff like that, and the Olympic Village is a ghost town 6 months later, and the sporting complex is defunct, like 2 weeks after the athletes leave.
Mm-hmm.
all right. Again, I think I know what may have been the problem. I forgot to tell Hammer that we started at 11 now instead of 12:15.
Paris has gayest opening ceremony ever in California. Hold my beer.
If California holds it, it'll be actual sex when it got as the fucking opening ceremony.
Look, the only good part of the opening ceremony, even though it was pre-recorded, was fucking Gojira.
I didn't even watch it, so I don't know what went on in it.
Wait a minute. You leave the Undertaker out of this. I'm 100% sure he has bigger problems. It would take place most likely in stadiums outside of what is actually LA. They would use Staples and UCLA, but most happen in SoFi and places in LA County.
Frost says, "How about if we have the Olympics, but we don't allow any foreigners? Then we don't get the redneck games. The Fox Worthy's Olympics in Georgia thing. That was, we're gonna screw that up.
Hey,
The opening ceremony.
Frosted,
Lord, be with our
yeah.
guests and prepare them for the butt whooping they're about to receive."
Hey, the Red Greens, there was the concept I got originally for the midnight show. The show started at 11. Like it was still called the midnight show.
Well, I mean, you
It's
go
midnight somewhere,
confusing
damn it.
people.
Well, I can't call it the 11:30 show, the 11 o'clock show. It doesn't have
You
a cool
could
ass
just
ring.
call it the night shift.
Was it
I
the
could call it
midnight?
that.
Say
Yeah.
midnight shows like what GMT -4.
No, Cameron didn't die. Oh, I wanted to show y'all this. When I found this shit was fucking hard. Y'all know who Roland Martin is, right? Y'all know who Roland Martin is, correct? Or
Rowan Martin?
Roland Martin, the black host of the Roland Martin show.
No.
This gentleman.
Okay.
This so ages ago he started some shit with Tariq Nasheed and they had a bit of beef. And it was fucking hilarious, but I seen this recently watching the Black Conservative watching his shit and it's fucking hilarious and I'll play it for you guys.
State of Texas. What does it mean for black people? What it means is if you're black and you set your ass at home, you're an absolute disgrace to the race.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it. Tariq Nasheed, you are a disgrace. Jason Whitlock, same for you. Two black men who actually publicly said they don't vote. Now,
oh, Miss Hillary. Oh, so good to see you, Miss Hillary. I love you, Miss Hillary. Welcome to TV1.
Oh, it's that one.
I dance with NASA. I dance
What the hell am I watching?
I dance with NASA. I dance with NASA.
Oh man, sorry. I saw that and that shit was hilarious to me.
What was that?
It was so Tariq Nasheed got called out for not voting 2 cycles ago. Cycle ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I heard.
And well,
Right
Tariq
now.
Nasheed responded back, and that was his response. That's Roland Martin dancing with Hillary Clinton.
Oh boy.
Somebody fell out of the retard tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Oh boy.
It's like watching 2 supervillains fight. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, if supervillains are all special ed.
Look, there is a special ed villain. Fucking Bizarro. You can't tell me he's not special ed. Right.
Well, I mean, he's the opposite of Superman in every way, except he's also absurdly strong and superpowered. So, I mean, or Superman is
yes,
smart,
Jason
Bizarro
Whitlock.
is.
Yes, Jason Whitlock, the former NFL player. Yes. And yes, the lyric is I dance with massa.
No.
What? I can't. It's
There
fucking
are,
hilarious.
I know that Tariq Nasheed exists. I didn't know that other guy existed until today.
Roland Martin is such a fucking cunt.
I know Tariq Nasheed exists, and I regret every moment I realize that.
Exactly.
I think Tariq Nasheed's best line was a black man could destroy the world sexually. Oh, Jesus. Man, I'm sorry. Didn't he?
Oh, you're
didn't he
not.
like? No, I'm not.
Wasn't he the okay? Am I do I have the right person? Tariq Nasheed is the Alabaster Savages guy.
No, I don't think
No.
Tariq.
No, that's Sean King.
No, he says that. Oh, I'm so confused.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of.
And like
Yes.
toilet seat complexioned individuals.
Yeah, I think Tariq Nasheed is toilet complexion individuals.
Yeah, I think they're both Tariq Nasheed.
I think they are. I think Outback Savages and toilet seat complexion individuals and Mayo Monkey. I think all of that is Tariq Nasheed. I believe so. Tariq Nasheed. I think he won like 4 or 5 grifties like 2 years back from Hotep Jesus.
I just needed to make sure that I had the right person in my head. Yeah, I know he exists.
No, that's all right. But Tariq Nasheed did start calling male monkeys at one point.
Uh-huh.
Ghazi Koto is the Aquaba, y'all.
Oh, yeah, he's another one. Ooh.
He in prison somewhere right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
So his Black Power, Black Hammer movement tried to appropriate land, bought land in like some part of the desert, right? And there was a dead body in the house. He was falsely imprisoning somebody that escaped. Told the cops
What
about
the
the body.
hell?
Yeah, like Ghazi Koto.
He like actually completely bought his
like Ghazi Koto. Yeah.
Wow.
Ghazi is fucking insane.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
And gay.
I
Yeah.
knew if he wasn't doing it just for the views, that he was dangerous. But I was kind of hoping that it was just a views thing.
I don't think he killed any. I don't honestly believe he killed anybody per se. Probably wasn't
No,
him
he
that
took him out
actually
into
did
the
it.
desert where there was no food or water, and they had no
Well,
idea.
no, they were
what the
trying to
hell-
build a civilization so they could have a basically civilization that could rival America and it would be all black and whatnot. And they failed because they got a shitty land that was not meant for farming and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's a shocker.
He's not the only people that have done that.
A while back there was another group of people that tried to do the exact same thing. I can't remember their name specifically or the name of their group specifically, but they did something to that effect and like they just said fuck it and came back to the city
and left. Yeah.
The real crazy part about all that is black people used to know how to farm.
Yeah, this is why he would have gotten charged for concealing the body, but I don't think he killed the body. And you know how they had that code of silence type shit.
He would have gotten arrested for endangerment if he didn't.
It's also false imprisonment because he technically was the leader of that little group. So, yeah, it was like what, maybe 10 or 12 of them?
Only if he forced them to go with him.
No. So somebody wanted to leave.
Okay.
And that's how they found out about the concealing the body.
Yeah, it kind of went down the cult route to where it's like the folks that wanted, it's like they were welcome to go there, but when they wanted to leave, they were trying not to let them leave.
Yeah, so that's how I know he got false imprisonment, and that's when they found they found out about the body. More than likely, what happened is like you said, they went out in the desert, they weren't prepared, someone died, probably of natural causes, and they just said fucking and concealed the body.
Yeah, exactly.
Or somebody got sick and died. Like, actually, I know.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. You head out west and everything. They probably died of dysentery, right?
No.
See, why they keep dissing Terry? Like, Terry's cool. Don't diss Terry.
Oh, jeez.
Well, there's that and snake bite.
Well, they should.
Now your gun will misfire while it's in the wagon and shoot you.
What they should have done? They should have waited for the rain and forded the river. All right, Kat. You've been abusing me all day. But yeah, By the way, I wonder if the coincidence that YouTube see.
Yeah, I was about to bring it up. It's like y'all heard that Susan Wojcicki lost her battle with lung cancer, right?
Really?
No, I hadn't.
I
Yeah,
didn't hear
apparently it
that.
happened on like Thursday or something.
See,
Like that might have actually been the reason why she stepped down and whatnot. That's like the one dude, you know, the succulent Chinese meal.
yes.
Frosted, shame on you.
What?
If you look,
I'll look it up. It is. Get off my penis.
yeah,
Even killed Susan Wiki.
Frosty, stop murdering people. All right,
Yeah.
I can't be hiding your bodies.
the guy that was like the original meme in Australia back in '91. You know your judo, good headlock, sir. What are the charges? That whole video, like
Here it
he
is.
died recently as well, but like he was in rough shape when they looked at it. When you look at him,
Oh man.
yeah, it's
Because-
like I'm with Hammer, like because he had the post on there as well. Like, dude, there are a lot of people just like being super gleeful for no reason. It's like, look, I wanted Wojcicki to be shamed. I didn't want her dead like that. Like,
Yeah, I don't want people to die. Like, all right, there's a huge.
Wanted her
between-
fired.
Yes. This gentleman here, Angela.
You just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. You're not showing anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this
Oh, yeah.
is Democracy Manifest.
that fucking rolling of
Have
the
a look
R.
at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this? Get some cups. For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you,
Wow.
sir,
Did he have
are you
to
waiting to
drink with
receive
his
my limp penis?
lunch?
Now,
He's drunk in the
your
skunk.
hands over there. Ta-ta and farewell. One cup, look. Laban.
A
Wow.
succulent Chinese meal.
Just that rolling of the R. And he's like, "This is Democracy Manifest."
Yeah, I can't roll my R's.
Oh, yeah, I am god awful at it.
Yeah, me too.
Way too lame of tongue.
It's why I prefer Portuguese to Spanish.
Less rolling.
It instead of using a dental fricative, you use a
Already.
glottal fricative for
Arrested in the ghetto,
Pronouncing
already
your R's.
killed for resisting arrest. ¿Por qué? I haven't seen anyone arrest more British. Yeah, that's a
Right.
British arrest.
And the funny part is that was in Australia.
Yes.
So in Australia, it's the most British arrest ever.
Yep.
Oh man, it was, but apparently, like if you listen to him tell the story, he was drunk. Like he had gotten like pulled the fuck up. Excuse me. He had got really drunk, and that's when that happened.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't need anybody to tell me that he got really drunk. He was a little
Yeah.
too eager to talk about his penis being grabbed on camera.
Oh no, what's really funny is because this was back in like '91, they didn't even censor it for television.
Yeah.
Well,
They
he
quite
said
literally
penis.
current
He didn't
because
say
quite,
anything.
quite currently they would more than likely censor that nowadays.
Yes.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You know how they censor everything nowadays.
But then just the insult.
God damn it,
the
he
guy-
does look rough.
Oh yeah, but then that's the insult the guy in the car who was supposed to grab his legs to help bring him in there. He's like, "Ah, you there? Are you here to receive my limp penis? How dare you!"
Wow.
Here, I found a picture of him. Share.
Because they talked
share.
about, or it's like, they talked about on Noir Bar. Like he was in rough shape.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, this was like he was in his 30s and it was 91. This is like 30 years later.
True.
I was like,
But
I should say,
still.
like, he was probably in his like 30s to 40s by looking at him.
I mean, doesn't look too bad. This was 3 years ago. Sky News. So, to be a 60-year-old man, he doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, for 60, he doesn't look too bad.
Like I said, I don't know what his actual age was.
Someone juggle. No.
I can't juggle. Sorry.
Only thing missing was his lack of pip helmet. Yes.
Wow. I addressed that like 3 minutes ago.
Sorry, didn't hear you. Oh, must have been looking.
Wow, you're not paying attention.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Here I have another video of our wonderful, wonderful vice president.
Oh.
I haven't had enough rum yet to pay attention.
Shut up. Pay attention.
Told you I haven't had enough rum yet.
Listen, just listen.
You can't make
the
me.
Suck-a-Lotta Cox, a repulsive figure in our modern political landscape, displays a noticeable physical prowess compared to President Potato Head. She gracefully descends the airplane stairs with a nimble jog, a vast improvement over her kid-sniffing partner. Yet, curiously, this cackling idiot seems to be wearing knee pads beneath her pantsuit, a peculiar choice that raises questions about her behavior and preparation. As the Suck-a-Lotta Cox begins her tour of a single restaurant in Atlanta, the local police and Secret Service seem to have best agents to protect her. As these agents swarm this cackling idiot like liberals fighting over a free gender transition coupon, Kamala seems well protected, even if it is from a far less diverse group of agents. Oddly enough, Agent Fupa and her band of diversity hires are nowhere to be found. However, the Secret Service seems to have recruited Steve Urkel to protect the Suck-a-Lotta Cox. As the Suck-a-Lotta Cox finally takes the stage, she is unable to resist indulging in her idiotic behavior. With a laugh reminiscent of a hyena's fart, she performs her signature restarted seal clap, an action that puts her stupidity
Can we stop
in full
insulting
display.
hyenas? They're at least legitimately
Upon finally
terrifying
reaching the
for good
microphone,
reason.
the Suck-a-Lotta Cox, with her idiotic laughter,
If you hear the
cackles and
hyena
wails
laugh
to the audience
and
for several minutes.
you're not armed
She
well,
then
you're
spends the
probably
next
going to
half
die.
hour
You're
lamenting
probably
about
fucked.
her one-eared cheesy poof adversary. You see, friends, the Suck-a-Lotta Cox
So have you guys
has no
seen the thing
real
as well, being
accomplishments
like,
to campaign on.
So Kamala was all
Thus,
in on
she
her Indian
resorts
heritage
to
before, and now
critiquing
she's
the
saying
mean
she's black,
orange
and
man.
you always have her say the N-word in public so the public can decide.
All right. So, here, yo, one time.
Hey.
Sorry about that.
Hey, Hammer.
Hello.
Hamilton.
How you doing?
It's my fault for not telling you. I'm an idiot.
Oh, that's okay. I was just waiting. There's something weird. I don't know if this is an iPhone issue or if it's a Twitter issue, but I always take my Twitter messages on my phone. I don't really use my PC for Twitter very much. And when I get messages coming into me that are just, regular mentions in a regular post, they make a noise. But when someone DMs me, it doesn't.
That's weird.
That's really dumb.
Yeah, depending on the DM, I get a fucking email about it.
Yeah. Yes. I honestly, I do not envy hyenas, but their females are fucking troopers. Like, they have, that a hyena has a pseudo penis, or females have a pseudo penis, and they give birth through that tube.
Yep.
Oh.
If they want to be assholes, fucking go right ahead. Yeah, I'm not knocking hyenas. God damn it. What did I want? Fuck.
And hyenas can change their whole hierarchy, just if I remember correctly, just based upon like establishing friendships with the right other hyenas.
Mm-hmm. But you know, a hyena will a pack of hyenas can take down a lion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking about a male lion. Like, they will fuck up Mufasa.
Well, they'd have a harder time with a female lion, actually.
Yeah, they'd probably have a hard time with a female, but they would fuck Mufasa ass up.
The lionesses are, one, they are the hunters, and two, they're pack hunters.
Yeah, that's
they back each other up.
But we can all say this and know that. Oh god damn it! Basically, everyone bullies the cheetah.
All right, so the cheetah doesn't have a roar. All it has on it is speed. It doesn't have the textiles.
No, it
bite.
fucking chirps.
It chirps. It doesn't have the bite strength of a lion or a tiger. It doesn't have.
I'm gonna get by being fast. It's a one trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It literally runs its prey to death.
Well, actually, it's not that it runs its prey to death, because if the prey can out-juke it, the prey is going to survive.
Yeah, because it can't turn on down.
It doesn't have the stamina.
Well, it doesn't have the stamina nor the maneuverability.
Man, it is really the worst cat in the world. Sucks to be them. And they get bullied.
I like cheetahs, but
and cheetahs get bullied by other animals. Cheetahs will straight up get murked. Well, not murked.
Hell, one of the freaking things they've done as well is their cubs tend to look more like badgers, so they're less likely to get bullied.
Again, sucks to be them.
I mean, if you chirp and squeak, you gotta do something else to be considered vicious.
So
I like animals. I really do. I like black-footed
the drug
cat.
dealers of the savannah.
They wish.
Jen says, "I picked Team Elephant." They pick up the ancient world.
I picked Team Cape Buffalo.
Like, if we're gonna talk about like pound for pound, like
hippo,
completely badass. Yeah, I'm Team Hippo. Like, really, the only thing that kills them in the savannah is dry seasons and just bad luck, Kate. Rarely even humans. They kill more humans.
Yeah, they will.
But they're an animal that's 4,000 pounds of basically pure muscle. They don't even swim. They hold their breath, sink to the bottom, run along the fucking bottom of the water. When they have to breathe again, they jump up.
Yeah, crazy murder horse.
They don't have buoyancy.
Swim. They have no buoyancy.
Yeah,
crazy murder horse.
They're apex, right? Nothing can beat them in the savannah. Like
not really. Like, and that's why the ones that are in South America just need to be killed, because there's no dry season, and they're fucking, when they poop, it deoxygenates the water, so it's killing wildlife. And if they do get into the because of the fucking cocaine hippos that Pablo Escobar bought, or that, well, they were his hippos and they got into cocaine, so they're now the cocaine hippos. But then a bunch of people in America are like, "Oh, you can't kill them, man. You should try to like trank them and do it." It's like, oh yeah, because you're gonna have a fucking crane ready. You're gonna kill it anyways, because when you trank it, it's just gonna sink to the bottom of the goddamn river and fucking die
and drown.
And it's not like you can hoist the thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
it's like basically what you're saying is, don't kill them quickly, make them suffer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what PETA and animal rights activists do most of the time. The person who got upset that they were given a live lobster, and so they released it into a freshwater pond.
Oh no!
You want to kill it slowly and tortuously.
But these are the same people.
PETA would take the animals that they supposedly rescue that they can't feed and whatnot, and they just throw them in a freezer a industrial freezer to freeze them to death.
Or they take loving pets from their owners and euthanize the pets.
Most animals that PETA takes in get euthanized before they leave the driveway.
This is my thing about PETA. Look, honestly, I like meat. And if a cow has to die to feed me, so be it. Now, there are other animals that eat meat. You know,
bro.
And
I don't know if we've had this discussion, but the fact of like being a vegetarian to being a meat eater is more of a sliding scale, because quite literally there was like they found out that there was an island over in Europe. It was like near Iceland or something that had migratory birds that lived there, and they were finding baby birds that had like one wing, one leg, its back fucking broke, eaten out, and they were like, "Oh, there must be an invasive species coming in here and eating them." Do you want what was actually eating them?
It was fucking deer.
It was the sheep.
Oh, I thought it was the deer, because the deer eat insects.
Well, no, oh, dude,
deer eat snakes.
There's another fucking spot in the U.S. to where there is a bird that like quite literally does its nest on the grassy floor in higher grass, and deer will specifically go looking for those baby birds when they're hatching and whatnot, because a lot of small animals like that are basically the popcorn chicken of the animal kingdom. Because hey, when you got to get that protein, you go with what's available. But I mean, for fuck's sake, when they did a test on human, it's like a donated human bodies, like decomposition, they put a cage over them. They caught a deer sticking its head in through the cage bars and eating the goddamn corpse. Now it's not near as bad as like the Komodo dragons in areas that have been known to where they will dig up human corpses to eat them.
Shit.
Yeah, fucking. This is why every time I hear someone being like, "Well, these animals are this way," it's like you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
But
the animal kingdom's fucking terrifying when you actually look at it.
I think it was a Russian bear. I forget what it's a Russian bear that went into a village and would drag a woman out into the fucking fields, buried her alive, and was eating her alive.
Well, bears do that. Bears are one of the few predators that eat you alive. They don't kill you first, like tigers and hippos and alligators. They'll kill you first, and then they eat you. Bears eat you while you're still alive.
Yeah,
and bears are carrion feeders. So.
Yeah, and Frosted, for the whole thing of like the Komodo dragon, everyone, like so many people think that they have like the like the really terrible mouth that's going to give you infection. That's because
it's highly
no, it's their the thing they actually have in their saliva and everything is it's an anticoagulant. So if I remember correctly, I might be getting it wrong for the actual basically it'll make it that you can't your blood won't clot. And the reason why there was a massive infection is because a lot of animals, when they would run away from the Komodo dragon, they will go into water, which is not pure
hygienic
and whatnot. So they get an infection through that, and they were that whole thing of correlating. Oh, they got bit by a Komodo dragon. That must be what caused it. No, it wasn't.
Definitely said it best. We only want to say cute animals. We should have animal auditions to determine their cuteness.
No, because while a lot of people will say chimps and a lot of the other primates are cute, they are fucking terrifying. And since they don't have the fine motor skills that we do, of being able to, I think orangutans are the closest of what they can do. They will still fuck up a human, which since we learned to throw small rock very fast, I will stick with being top of the food chain because so far the interspecies arms race has begun like 6,000 years ago, and humans are number one, baby.
Chimps are actually the closest related to humans, by the way.
I just meant in the fine motor skills of what they can do.
Oh, they will kill you. They will eat you. They will.
Because baboons have been known to make smaller, more intricate tools. So they have a bit better in the fine motor skills. Chimps are or not baboons, orangutans. Like
Yeah.
chimps, yeah, they are fucking terrifying, and they're going specifically after your eyes, mouth, and groin.
Well, their whole strategy is grip your face and rip.
No, they also will go after your groin. Like quite literally, they're gonna give you the old dick twist. And it's not gonna be the nice one. It's gonna be the one to where they're trying to pull your shit off.
Well, I mean, why would you grab it if you're not gonna get serious about it?
Well, they want to
I don't
make
even know
sure
why
that
we had
you
this
can't
conversation.
possibly mate with their female.
Yeah, this is why, like, you do for a lot of primates, you don't look them in the eyes. You don't actually smile at them because it's not smiling; it's an act of aggression.
You're baring your teeth.
You're baring your teeth.
Yeah.
Don't show those teeth.
You know, for all of our understanding of other species and animals and whatnot.
Well, that was like when America thought that the U.S. government thought that a lot of our problems were being caused by an overpopulation of wolves, so they killed a bunch of wolves. And they've now reduced them. It actually caused the fucking coyote population to go up, and they're one of the two fucking garbage disposals of the animal kingdom. And quite literally, they can breed with some other canines, which has caused a bigger coyote. But depending on how many coyotes they are, they can somehow sense it to where they may or may not have a bigger litter.
I got one better for you. Remember, did you ever hear about the Yellowstone incident? I believe it was the Yellowstone. There was a national park where they killed the wolf species in that area. They like just wiped it out, and then the deer started to die off. They literally started to breed rapidly and eat their food. Like they were killing themselves because they were unchecked. And they had to reintroduce another species of wolf that isn't native to that area, and to restore balance, if you will.
Yeah,
like they
to call the
deer. Like the hunters could not hunt the deer fast enough.
Yeah.
So they had to reintroduce the wolves.
Well, it's like going back to animals that are pretty dope. I still like rhinos, even though they're legally blind, and if you meet one in the wild,
you're fucked.
You're fucked because they can't tell whether you are friend or foe, so they throwing hands on sight. Like, it's fight on sight, because if you can't tell whether or not the thing standing in front of you is trying to kill you or trying to feed you, it's better to wage on the side of caution and think they're trying to kill you. The really funny part is in captivity, they're like dogs.
Because they ain't got shit to worry about.
Well, yeah, because they know they can get to that point to where they know they don't have to have that fight on sight thought process. So quite literally, like there you can look up videos of rhinos having zoomies like dogs would.
Huh?
Rhino zoomies is somehow very terrifying.
I must say
actually it's pretty fucking adorable.
Rhino zoomie.
I know that
Rhino
baby
zoomies.
rhinos and baby hippos are cute. And then they grow up.
Yeah.
And then they're
Hippos are just straight up murder horses.
Well, technically they're river horses, but
Well, they're river murder horses.
that's literally what hippopotamus means. But
that is cute.
Like I said, and there's ones with like full on adults. Otherwise, in other news to give us something to talk about, did y'all hear about the NYPD officer or it's like officers, I think it was, that like basically beat the shit out of a repeat offender? The dude's pants, because of him sagging him, ended up falling down, but this dude had fucking cold-cocked a female cop.
What?
No.
Yeah, he cold-cocked a female cop, and he is an African-American male before someone's like, oh, it's racism. The cop that whooped his ass is a black guy.
Okay.
Here, I'll pause. Oh, shit, I should have done it that way, so I actually have to bring it down. Go over here. And grab a fucking drink. Bookmarks. Let me know when you have it open.
Sorry about that, Lich.
You're pretty quiet today, Hammer.
I'm interested in what you guys are talking about. The only thing I was going to offer somewhere in there was we were talking about bears. Is that of all the bears, like I have a bear that spends a lot of time attacking my trash, and I've met her a few times, and it's scary. She's a big girl, but she's a brown bear.
Brown bear.
She's a brown bear. So if you jump and scream, she runs.
Yeah.
She's got a couple cubs with her and all that kind of stuff.
I mean,
and black bears, if you roll up in a little ball, will usually leave you alone too. But what I was going to talk about was polar bears, because
those are motherfucking killers.
Those are some scary fucking bears, because
Polar bears?
they're faster than you on land. They're faster than you in water, and if they see you move, they will kill you.
Actually, they will smell you before you even were aware they were there.
Yeah,
because they can detect you from several miles away,
and there's nothing.
And they will stalk and eat you.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do. You cannot roll up in a ball. You cannot scare them away. They're going to eat you, and that's all there is to it.
Unless, like, I've had a discussion with a couple people. It's like, unless you have the proper firearm, you're not fucking up a bear, or especially a polar bear. Because, like, the 3 bears to worry about the most are polar, Kodiak, and grizzly.
The problem, Kyivedam says bear mace works wonders, and it does, but not in the Antarctica where you will find polar bears, because it's so cold that you will spray, and the spray goes directly to the ground because it freezes and drops. So even bear spray doesn't work because it won't deploy. It won't deploy in a way that actually neutralizes the bear. So you have to have a gun.
If we're gonna follow that route, like the actual smart
nice commercial.
I know.
With majority of bears, other than really polar, because theirs, since they are legitimately a hyper carnivore, it's going to be based upon whether or not they're hungry. But with most bears, grizzlies included, like if you go to an area, that's the reason why they say it's like 1, yes, carry bear mace. 2, definitely carry a firearm that can take out the biggest thing. So pretty much you want someone who can take out a moose. Because if a moose decides it's going to get pissed at you, you're not going to distract it with a little bit of kelp and whatnot. And you may survive if you tuck up into a ball, but they will fuck you up. And it's that whole thing that, the only thing that's going to save you is that Jesus Christ himself.
Like, yes, like I talked about bringing a moose.
So that way, because in a lot of cases, if you make noises, if you were there, most animals will keep their distance from you, and a lot of the predators will avoid you as if they owe you money.
You're not going to get anywhere with a polar bear with a medieval mace.
I was gonna say I don't think
it's got a longer reach and claws sharp enough to separate skin from muscle.
Yeah.
Do they make a 50 BMG revolver?
That might do it.
No, if you go with a hard, it's like, honestly, if you go with it, typically minimum, most people recommend no less than a 454 Casull, and you go with like a hard cast or solid copper ammunition, because you're not looking at it's like a bullet expansion. You're looking at penetration.
Yeah, you got to get through the skull.
All right,
tear up everything that's inside. Now, Genti Maxia, as I joked about bringing moose to liberal protests earlier today, creating new Canadian war crimes. Well, remember, it's not a war crime the first time.
Yeah. Well, I said like distracting him with a little bit of kelp, because one of the people that a Tiki Bomber that Pat does a thing with was like, oh, if a moose wants to come at me and whatnot, I can throw some kelp and distract it. It's like, you do realize most animals that if you try to throw a little bit of food, they're not like a domesticated dog where they're like, oh, food. Like they're already pissed at you and they're focused on the task at hand, and that task is handing you your ass.
Yes. All right,
in
Ryan,
answer to your scenario, Frosted, if you want to go and watch that go down, get some video and I will watch, but I don't want to be there.
I want to see a polar bear versus a hippo.
Polar bear versus a rhino would be a good fight.
I mean, most people even forget that like a fucking panda can still, its bite force will still fucking basically take your arm off.
No, it'd be a good fight. Polar bear versus the honey badger.
Polar bear will kill the honey badger on that one.
Oh yeah, that's not
like
even.
Time when the honey badger actually gives a damn.
Like other than the polar bear being able to
got...
take a, what's really funny is if you think about it, other than like humans and some of the bears to take a moose, really the only moose's actual other natural enemy is an orca.
And they don't swim in the water. They don't even go too far out. So
yes, they do.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Moose will swim, and they can swim. They can dive down to 30 feet. I think it's actually close to like 30 meters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I take it some weird ass thing where it's like, you know, I wish I'd have had this shit fucking 30 years ago. It'd have helped me in school.
Yes, it would have. All right, what's the video?
Okay, so we're gonna see a repeat offender criminal getting his ass beat.
Oh!
And there goes Jasper by accident.
Yo, hold on, get off me, kid. Get off me.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he smacked him up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, oh,
he just, but you're looking at this situation, and he is actually resisting and fighting them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
he initiated it by striking an officer, as you can tell her, like, she got hit in the face.
Stop talking like that.
She's got a bloody lip and shit like that.
Stop talking like that, bro. No.
He's actually created a situation where their use of force against him is legitimate.
Oh, well.
I'm not a fan of police use of force, but he did it to himself.
I'm going to go grab a drink real quick, so I'll be back.
Sometimes you start shit polar bear versus in a river filled with piranhas. I don't know. That'd be a good fight. I think the polar bear will get murked because piranhas don't fuck with hippos.
Polar bear in a river of piranhas, the piranha win. Unless there's not enough of them.
I was gonna say that's just strictly the law of large numbers.
Yeah, law of large numbers and razor teeth.
Yeah, he might be able to get out of the water if it's not too far away to shore, because they're going to go after his fur first.
Well, you gotta remember that's a thick hide. It's still a thick hide.
Yeah,
you gonna have to tear through that for a minute.
But if it's not, Jen, polar bears are not that averse to warm weather.
No, they're not bugged by the cold. They are very
I'm
not
just
bugged by the
Jen
cold.
said it's too warm for the bear. They're actually not that averse to warm weather. Our polar
they have a
bears
very good
here,
insulatory layer between the outer fur and their skin. So
Yeah,
they're just as, and actually,
you know they're black. They actually have black skin.
Yeah,
polar bears have black skin.
and clear fur.
Yeah,
Fur is not white; it is transparent.
I found that shit amazing. Who keeps?
Okay, if it's the polar bears versus piranha, it's actually going to be neither, because the whole thing of thinking of how the piranhas ate a cow so fast and whatnot is because those piranhas were fucking starved. So it's more of a non sequitur fight. So in predominantly, piranha are more of a scavenger.
So in other words, they're not going to attack first.
Yeah, in other words, there's going to be no fight. So basically, the piranha are going to leave the polar bear alone unless it's a polar bear corpse.
The more you know.
Look, Zeus has
it's one of those things because I've been watching a lot of the unsubscribed podcasts and listening to Eli, and that whole thing when I hear you guys talking to piranha, I'm like, no, this is like I got my hands. I'm like, no, this is wrong. I know I'm not developing autism. I'm just getting tics because of watching too much shit.
Nah, you're developing autism.
You are. It's okay.
Yeah, who knows? I don't care.
Have you seen any good movies lately?
The last movie I saw was Godzilla -1.
Oh,
I need
I'll have to see that.
Yeah, I
It
still want to
was
watch that one.
okay. It was okay. It wasn't great, but I'm not really a Godzilla kind of guy anyway.
I was going to say
He's not into the kaiju movies.
No.
Well, the one Godzilla movie, before that, I can't remember what the hell it's called and whatnot. To where it's supposed to be like the Godzilla's evolving as the thing goes. I've heard it's not really the best.
King of the Monsters.
No, it's not King of the Monsters. It's another Chinese or Japanese one.
Oh,
that like heavily CGs it because it's. Oh fuck!
Is it Godzilla Zero?
It might be Godzilla Zero. Give me a second. I will go and do.
I will say something about the movie though, that the special effects in it were just outstanding. There were some green screens that was a little flaky, but the actual him firing his weapon, that blue beam from his mouth, yeah, that turns into like a nuclear explosion. Oh my god, that was so awesome! Because it travels up his spine, unlocking parts of his spine, and when it gets all funny, he just goes whammo and holy mackerel! And I was like, yo! I was stuck in my seat. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Shin Godzilla, that is.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla. There is a metric fuck ton of meetings in that movie.
Of what?
Meetings, like quite literally. There is it's kind of like the original American Godzilla, to where there's too much human interaction or human influence. So like it's Godzilla doing the whole thing to where it shows up and it's in its constant evolution of like how it's changing and everything. But they keep going to meetings to try to figure out how to deal with it.
All right, so this is what I'll continue to say. If you're going to do a Godzilla movie, it should have very little human interaction. Like, humans should go, oh shit, he's destroying the city, we got to flee, and it should be him destroying the city and fighting another monster. Like, I don't want to hear the backstory of why this little girl is doing what this little girl is doing.
Well, that's why, go ahead, Angela.
No, it's okay.
No, like, I was just going to say it's the typical thing for those who typically like the giant kaiju movies and whatnot. That's what they're there for, is for lack of human interaction. And when Hollywood goes into it, they think there has to be more of that human thing. Like, we have to have an in-depth care of whatever. And it's like, no, we don't. This isn't Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
That's the catch, though, is I like the old Godzilla movies, but I like the new ones, too.
Well, what I was
don't
talking...
mind, I like the human development that they have is good and goes along well with the story. So I'm okay with the addition of the human element.
Yeah, well, what I mean is, it's not like the one that had, what was it? I think Bryan Cranston and like Matthew Broderick in it, to where there was very little Godzilla.
You're talking about Godzilla 2000, and then that was
the newer ones. It's like, I'm in
Cranston.
agreement with Jack, to where it's like it's okay that the human portion's there, but it's really not necessary. And you talk about like the one in the 2000 one, like I was saying, is it had less giant kaiju and more human.
All right, this is how you do a perfect Godzilla movie.
And hold on,
80%.
Hold on a second. And Frosted trains are cool. Fuck off.
All right, about 85% Godzilla versus giant monster, 15% human. That's how you make a great Godzilla movie. Humans should give us the setup of why they're fighting, and like the humans trying to deal with it. Like, oh god, he's destroying the city. Oh, here comes Martha to save us. Oh shit, Martha's going down. We need to help Martha out, and then it's mainly the fight.
See, I liked the Mothra movies the best out of the old Godzilla movies, and I think it's because there was more human interaction.
Did you know Mothra had a brother?
Was it
No.
No, there's an evil Mothra, and he's male.
Okay, I didn't know he was male. I knew there was an evil Mothra, but I only saw that one like a million years ago. Like, I was little when I saw that.
Bathra.
I was little when I saw that.
That was until 92. Bathra.
No, I'm talking like the old school ones.
Oh, yeah.
So you weren't but a wee little thing.
But yeah, Mothra had a. Honestly, I like the concept of what they did with Mothra.
Thank you, Frosted.
Mothra.
Why did you say that name?
I like what they did with the concept they did in King of the Monsters, where they have a symbiotic relationship, her and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Shit, I like the fact that fucking Ghidra, King Ghidra, and fucking Rodan had a symbiotic relationship. Even though it's more,
there's nothing that says they can't.
Yeah, but that's how some species evolve. They evolve symbiotically.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, humans and dogs, we've evolved symbiotically. I mean, granted, we don't need each other as much as, say, those two needed each other, but we have
it's
a
not
symbiotic
like we're
relationship.
cats to where they're just like, I don't feel like having to do this, so I'm going to live here now.
Just kind of like Will.
Quite literally, like domesticated cats did fall more into that of just they saw they could get something from humans.
We haven't domesticated by comparison to our relationship with dogs. Cats are still wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, I mean, we got the humans to worship us. 8, 9, 6 or 7,000 years ago, and just kind of stuck with it.
Like the one part of our relationship that is actually symbiotic is that the purring that cats can do, and that doesn't fall into whether or not they're a big cat or a little cat.
It's just for us.
That whole thing going back into the animal things is like big cat, like what's considered a big cat versus what's considered a little cat is actually like really fucking weird, and it actually does fall into if they can roar or not.
Mm-hmm.
So like the biggest little cat is bigger than the littlest big cat.
Shit, meowing.
It's
they
fucking
don't
weird.
meow in the wild. Like adult cats don't meow. They
Well,
meow just to us.
The closest one that sounds like it meows is a bobcat. And depending on what bobcats are, it's that whole thing that if you hear what sounds like a baby crying out in the woods, you have to go against all your basic instincts and ignore it because that's a bobcat's mating call. Kind of fucking terrifying. Yeah.
When a cougar is actually hunting and catches a scent, it sounds like a woman screaming.
Mm-hmm.
A cougar is absolutely terrifying. I
mean, you just have to remember with cougars, you go in groups, you make sure your surroundings, and you make sure any man under 30 is not left unattended.
Get out of my head.
Bangarang.
I started thinking the same thing. I was
Bangarang riding.
Couldn't resist.
I started thinking the same damn thing.
And Frostville.
That's like hell of the felines and whatnot. The most terrifying one is actually like the fucking jaguar. I want to say it is.
Cats are fucked.
Well, they have, I think, the strongest bite force, and comparatively to a lot of others that will go after the neck and everything, like, no, they specifically go to crush, like to bite and to crush into a specific portion of the brain.
I was gonna say they bite your head.
Yep.
And they aren't quite as say that. Well, I guess their hunting style is kind of similar to mountain lions.
Well, jaguars.
Actually, jaguars
like
just
their prey live but immobile.
Well,
so the idea is
the
to
catch with the mountain lion is it can't handle a stand-up fight for very long, but it's
actually
smart. It's going to attack the thing it sees as the greatest threat first. So there are situations where you've had like a 6'5", 300-pound guy, all muscle, get attacked by the mountain lion, and his 5'0" girlfriend chase the cat off, hitting it around the head and face.
I've actually seen that too.
What's actually funny as well is like mountain lions aren't actually lions. That's like Black Panthers actually aren't panthers.
They're jaguars.
Yep.
Well, let's see, mountain lion, cougar, jaguar, catamount. There's 3 or 4 other names. It's all the same cat. The only thing that they changed the name based on
location.
Yeah, location and coloration, but it's the same cat.
Oh yeah, and since I just realized here, since you were saying you know how polar bears have black skin, don't forget that zebras also have black skin with white stripes.
There's a joke in there. I want to make it.
No, like that. Like I know that's the joke, but that's also the whole a legitimate thing, and they are more closely related to a donkey than to a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're mountain lions are not actually lions. Yeah, definitely not autistic guy. But they are absolutely.
I have
terrifying.
watched the episode of the fucking video from Casual Geographic, an African American gentleman who is very into that whole thing, like 3 or 4 times, because every time I find it on Facebook, I'm like, well, I'm watching this again because I enjoy it.
All right.
It's kind of like when
ladies
Wendigoon pops up to where it's like, okay, well, this
Guess
is
I'm doing that
started.
now.
I'm watching this now.
All right. We've been doing
It
that.
might be time to move on to the next topic.
There's no topic, but I want to do an asshole story.
Why? Animals are fun to talk about.
They are,
I know.
and they're delicious to eat.
Certain animals are delicious to eat.
There are some animals that taste not so good.
There's also a deep sea animal that, as soon as it's threatened, it feels it's threatened, can create a crap ton of goo.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's a weird God.
It's a sea cucumber.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a sea cucumber or whatnot, but it's almost like a mixture of that and kind of an eel. And quite literally, I've seen the video of a shark that tries to bite it, and it just starts secreting this one stuff like. And then, of course, because there was a thing to where a car got rear-ended that had like 300 of them, and because of all the secretion they had, they actually closed down the road. And of course, where were they going but to a bunch of rich elitists in China, because China's fucking weird. Hagfish,
not the sea.
That was it.
Yeah, the hagfish, not the sea cucumber. James, that just spells its intestines.
Jen got it as well. Yeah, I won't say it was the hagfish. Like that shit's fucking weird. Like you can have them in a fucking little aquarium thing where just sitting there, and if you reach your hand and like just touch it, it just starts pushing that shit out.
One of my favorite animals in the universe.
That it is.
I love this fish.
So grossed out.
What? It's a blobfish.
No, I just read Jen some.
Yeah, like the truck accidents with the hagfish and whatnot, or a car because they have it in the trunk. Like it quite literally closes down the road.
But I like this little fish, and I like when they bring it up to the surface.
Oh, how it's
like
collapsing in itself.
Yeah, because of the pressure differential.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm still like.
It looks like Ziggy.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like Ziggy.
It's probably the basis for Ziggy.
It's the pressure differential.
Like I'm still of the opinion, like there's a lot of stuff that just down in the deep seas of the oceans I just don't care to know about. Like everyone thinks, anglerfish are just these small things when there's
fucking huge.
They're fucking like 6 foot long.
Now the male anglerfish is just a ball sack on a female.
Well, yeah, because they basically just melt into it, or not melt, merge into it, so they can let their sperm go into it. It's fucking weird.
What happened to Drunk All with his face melted? All right, actual story time. Am I the asshole for not giving a front door access code to my friend to watch my puppy for about 2 hours? It's in chat. You want to read along?
The answer to that is if you were gone before they got there, yes.
Yeah, if they're supposed to be watching your dog and you didn't give them away into the house, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's the whole thing, is they were supposed to go over to watch your animal for you, then yes, I didn't even care to read the rest.
Really quickly before I want to show everybody. As always, we're on TV.
Oh, Travis put us on TV?
Yep, we're on TV.
Yay, Travis.
What up, Travis? All right, so a lady, we'll call her Ann, on Facebook, replied to one of my posts for help with my puppy. She said she was a student of Susan Garant, a famous dog trainer, and she was willing to come to my house and help me with dog training. She helped for several weeks, but I got easily overwhelmed by her and ignored her for about 3. On Monday, I asked her if on Thursday she would watch my puppy when I went to a doctor's appointment. She agreed. On Tuesday, we had an incident, and she didn't want to talk about that on Tuesday or Wednesday. When she got here, she texted from her son's car that she was ready for me to hand her my puppy leash. I texted her back, asked if she planned to be outside the whole time I was gone. She said she was prepared to do so. She comes inside and asks if I would give her a temporary code to the front door. I said no, absolutely not. She asked for the remote control to the garage. She said I'd given her the remote before. I told her not anymore. Not after she left it in the unlocked car 2 days earlier. She had been borrowing my mother's car for weeks to get back and forth to my house and run puppy errands. She explained to me that she thought I was coming out to the car after she arrived. I told her that's not a good enough excuse. She started to say something about leaving the garage door open. I tell her I'm not going to argue with her right now. She said, fine, I'll stay outside. I'm not going to be confined to the house. I told her that I'm putting my puppy in her crate and she can leave. She said she was prepared to stay. I lose it. I yell at her. I don't give a fuck, Ann. She asked how she's supposed to potty my puppy. I told her she can take the puppy in the back. She asked, are we ready for that?
All right, yeah, I stopped caring anymore. Both people are assholes, and the dog should go to a better home.
God damn. It's just a few more paragraphs. You can do it.
Oh, it's the whole thing of like, okay, it started off as they were going to do everything, and then the person who supposedly has training from a really good dog trainer is not doing the shit they're supposed to and being more subpar with how they're supposed to be doing things. And so now the other person's basically just being like, no, fuck you, and this and that. It's like, dude, if you don't have the time frame to put the actual work in with the dog, it's like you probably should have never got it.
Ouch. Writer sounds needy.
Okay, Frosted, probably the only person involved in any of this that's not an asshole is the puppy.
I don't know. Let's finish this up, though. Was ready for that. I lose it again, and I say, oh my fucking god, because she thinks the backyard is unsafe for the puppy because the landscaper hasn't picked up all the thorns. She asked me if I was giving her my treat bag. I asked her if she wanted my bag. She said no, got up, said she'll grab her other bag, and walked out to her son's car. She gets in the car, then proceeds to wait in the car. The van eventually arrives. I put my puppy in her crate. I answer the door where she's knocking and told her my puppy was crated and I no longer need her services today. She's trying to walk into my house, said she wanted to get some of her stuff. I told her she could coordinate with me later to get what she needed. She still stood there. I asked her to please go. She told me to take something, the kibble she grabbed earlier from her. I told her I didn't want to take anything from her. She ended up throwing the handful of kibble in the spot I take my puppy to potty. When I realized she threw the kibble there, I knew I couldn't trust her with the health and safety of my puppy. All right, she sounds like both of you sound like asses.
Boom, fucking called it.
If she had the dog crate trained, she could have just let the dog be in the crate while she was gone anyway.
Yeah, especially if it was only going to be for a relatively short time frame.
I mean, if it's 2 hours, like my doctor's appointment only takes like 15 minutes at most.
Well, it all depends on what you're going in for and everything.
That's true.
And how,
because like technically, granted, I'm talking with a lawyer. I want to say it is when I go for my Veterans Affairs appointment, but like it's kind of a doctor's appointment in a way.
But you were saying, Angela?
I was going to say that it also depends on how busy the doctor's office is.
Yes.
But again, yeah. Both of them are assholes. Hammer, your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with everybody else. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
No,
you're there.
Like there's basically no argument. I think from
everyone's
lies detected.
Yeah.
That whole thing, everyone's just looking around green. Yeah, yep, that seems to be about the right. Like it's not even the captain. That's like the Falconer, where it's like, he's out of line, but he's completely right.
No,
there is no bipedal being in this story that is not an asshole.
I mean, possibly the mom, but she's only very ancillary character.
I was gonna say, the mom let this lady who's letting essentially a stranger use her car have her car.
All right, I got
maybe the mom and the person have more of a history.
Yeah.
All right. Am I the asshole for not sending clothes with my kids anymore?
Well,
probably.
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, no, I was gonna say that, but like really, it's like
being basically one person removed from knowing the actual person to where the spouse who had, or it's like the parent who had full custody was not providing proper clothes, was not washing clothes, was barely even feeding them properly. But because the other spouse or the other parent had money, they were the one buying them brand new clothes and sending them back with everything type thing. So it's depends on the scenario. When it comes to this type of shit, you legitimately have to hear everything in full.
Yeah, no, I get that. I gave a knee-jerk reaction, and you started thinking about it, like, yeah, no, we had to, to be careful what outfits the kids were wearing when they went to visit the sperm donor, because there was own outfits that were clean and fit, and they'd come home in outfits that were dirty and misfit.
Yeah, because of the friends and family I have heard some ridiculous stories just in Southwest Michigan to where I'm like, how the fuck is the goddamn court system the way it is? It just doesn't make sense.
Because they're not actually acting as bound by law.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you're looking also at the fact that like both me and Will are in Michigan. When Michigan went to push towards, hey, without provable extenuating circumstances, we're going to make custody 50-50. A lot of predominant feminist activists and divorce lawyers went, hey, whoa. There's nothing that says that it shouldn't be the mother that does everything. And it doesn't get primary custody.
All right, let me read it.
Why? No,
because I'm an asshole. I don't want to read it.
I'm like, nobody cares. Actually, you're not gonna read it. I'm gonna read it.
Okay, fine. You read it, damn it.
Because
oh god,
I just feel
here
like
we
being that way. Hey, I'm getting the character, okay?
I know. I knew where this was going.
I haven't even checked anything about it, so I have no idea.
I don't want that character around.
I need an adult.
I need an adult.
I'm an adult.
I need a better
different adult.
Okay. Oh wow, this person is actually close to my age. It's like my apparently 40 female. Have an ex-husband, 37 male, who I usually get along cordially with. We did a divorce without lawyers, even with having kids. Mainly, Jesus goddamn tap dancing Christ.
Okay.
We trying to read as written. We did our divorce without lawyers, even with having kids, mainly because he's a cheap ass that didn't want to pay much for support, and I just wanted to be away as quick as I could and didn't care about assets, etc. This summer was the first time he wanted to take our kids on a trip. Female 13, male 8. I helped as much as I could and basically packed for our 13-year-old. Since she doesn't have much clothes at his place because she hates being there. They went to a coastal state and when they got back, my daughter said, "Watch out because our clothes smell so bad." I was working at the time and asked if her dad could please wash them. He has a washer and dryer, and my dryer is acting up. She came out of his place when I went to pick them up, and she had all her luggage. She was crying, and she said that her dad could just dry clean them if I needed to. As you can tell, like, I'm a bit intoxicated. This person cannot fucking write.
Yeah, this one big ass nonsense.
Like, Tyr actually might have had a better chance of reading this. It might be more coherent to his brain for how he talks.
Go to hell.
Wow.
I take him when I can get him. Love you, Tyr.
Carpe juggling.
I was mad first off that he upset her, and second off that he expected me to send a lot of clean clothes for the trip and expected it to be okay to send them back stinky and full of salt water. I didn't react in front of my daughter, just said that I would take care of it. That's mistake one. Actually, mistake one of 5,000.
No, you really don't want to react in to stuff like that in front of the kids, just because.
No, don't be an asshole about it, but you can quite literally say, "What is your problem? You know how to wash clothes. You're a grown adult." Like you
got to be very careful how you do it and what you say.
Well, that's what I say. Well, no, it's not even what you say; it's how you say it.
Oh, it's what you say too, because
it's very
both words and tone of voice. I can't say it's for certain the same in every state, though I'd expect most states to have some kind of variance in it. In Michigan, it is quite literally illegal under custody to say or do or allowed to be said or done in the presence of your kids anything that can detract from their affection for the other parent. There's a reason you got to be very, very careful not just what you're saying and doing in front of your kids in a divorce situation, but what you're allowing other people to say and do around them.
James is Cannibalistic Wizard. James isn't here.
Yeah, his phone's fucked up.
Yeah. He said we need someone
with a reading level above second grade. Bro, I'm dead serious. Open the link. You need someone with a writing level above second grade.
For sure.
I know I write bad, but she needs an editor.
Like, we all know Sinatra has trouble reading, and he would say, "What the fuck?"
Hellcat has trouble reading, and he would say, "What the fuck?"
Didn't have too much of a problem with it. I got what they were saying.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to understand what they're saying, but when you're trying to read it aloud, it's that whole thing. You basically have to pull the scribe and say, "I'm reading it as it's written."
I can read pretty well, but my eyesight isn't great, so I have to make everything really big when I read it. But
yeah.
Well,
it's just the fact of the sentences and the structuring of how they go about it would probably work if it were a casual conversation between two people, depending on how their speech dialect is. But when it's put into a written format, doesn't make as much sense.
What she needed spaces. Like, she needs to press enter.
Again, look at that whole thing. It's like, I didn't react in front of my daughter, just said I would take care of it. Then after that, next sentence, I then text their dad that I would no longer provide things from my house for them when they go with him. He wrote back that I am again being a petty bitch and they are my clothes so I can clean them.
They're not her clothes. They're the kids' clothes.
Mm-hmm. And being a parent, he should be able to wash the clothes.
All right, to be fair.
And then to go with the last couple sentences in that, my friends are on my side. And of course. I know there's a comma in there that's like, it's going to be pretty much obviously, unless you're a raging bitch, your friends are usually going to be on your side.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's not uncommon.
Yeah. But a couple family members said it was no big deal and I should have just kept the peace for my kids' sake. Well, as it's already shown for a lot of things, their own children or her own children, the son not so much, but let's be honest, majority of the time boys aren't going to care. The daughter had issues with it.
To be fair,
at
13,
I don't think she sounds like a petty bitch. I think she.
I don't think
she
she
sounds like a petty bitch at
all.
I think she may have overreacted a bit, but and I definitely think she did not respond well. In that she responded in a way that was going to cause
all right
argument.
It depends.
But I don't think she's unreasonable.
No, I'm not
To
judging her
say-
harshly for this.
I need a little bit more context, because if, say, they just got back and you're picking up the kids like immediately after they got back and whatnot, then I understand that the clothes are dirty because, again, we just got back home. We didn't have time to wash them and you're picking them up. Or if like they've been back for at least a day or so, yeah, you should have been able to throw them in the wash. And I'm also going to say the girl, the 13-year-old, should be washing her own clothes. Like, I was like 9, 10 when I was washing my clothes, and I guess that's just me.
Well, yeah, the 13-year-old should be washing her own clothes, but you got to ask the question: is the dad letting her?
Yeah.
All right, and that too.
Also,
is the dad letting her? You think he stands in front of her and says, "You cannot wash these"?
Well,
he may be preventing her from using the washer and dryer. I've seen situations where parents would.
Yeah.
Well, the question also has to be asked: was she even taught?
Yeah,
that's another question.
That's the actual question.
Because if she
right
hadn't
there.
been taught because I'll be honest, I didn't learn to wash my own clothes until I was basically 18, because my mother didn't care. She just washed the clothes and whatnot.
And I get that.
But it was
That's
that whole thing.
different
If
for
I
different
had
folks.
asked to learn, she'd have had no problems with it.
I guess it's different strokes for different folks, because
And it's not the stepdad because it's the biological dad.
Yeah,
It's the sperm donor.
It's the donor.
Frosted.
It sounds like she may not actually have a washer and dryer. They might.
Oh no, she said her dryer was on the fritz, so she has a washer and dryer.
Okay. I was gonna say if
she was
they're
asking
having to use the laundromat, she may just not let it go to
She
the
was asking if
laundromat.
he could do that since hers wasn't working as well at the moment.
And again, even if I don't, if we're having an issue, you know, we're divorced, and it's still for my kids. I wouldn't mind wash. Okay, we just got back. If you give me maybe 2 hours to get their clothes washed, dried, and whatnot, it could be done. Hell, shit, I wouldn't be opposed to her bringing all their clothes, hers included, to wash at my house. It benefits the kids to have clean clothes. Okay, come do a load of laundry.
You see, the problem with that here is you're a decent person.
So he's got you fooled in.
And what you run into in so many of these cases is one of the parents very much is not. Sometimes both of them.
But
Stepping back from this, using my crystal ball, I would say this is not their first fencing match.
Definitely not.
And this was a contentious issue between them. Somebody left somebody, and somebody didn't like it too much. So they've done some fencing rounds before, and one or the other has won at one point or another. So now everything that could be made into a fight is made into a fight.
All right,
my brother's saying the same thing. We had a washer and dryer, so our mom was like, "Yeah, you got clothes, you got a washer. It's right there. Use it."
Yeah, you know, but
Well,
I guess my mentality
threaten things with a chancla there, Angela.
Huh?
So didn't your mother also make threats, by the force of a chancla?
Oh, I did tell you guys that story, but
the sheer. But
with my brother in the audience, I'm not.
Now the question is, did either of you have it where you tried to run away from your mother, and basically your mother lets you run, and then just threw the chancla, and as you're running, you're trying to run away, you're like, I think I've made it, and then
you turn that corner. You turn that corner. You're like, I'm safe.
Like, the girl's trying to run. You just see the mom walk out with a chancla, and she just like looks kind of like, I don't remember if she points out an arm, but she just like throws it, and you see the chancla go up, and the woman's still running, and then just bam, fucking. Yeah. The only better one is the joke of he's actually more of a Middle Eastern guy. And he's like, this is defense against your mother if she's got the chancla. And he's got his friend like dressed up like her. And he goes to use the sandal against him. And like he's able to correct it. And then all of a sudden, after showing how to do that, you just see the mom shows up and she's like, prove it.
Uh-huh.
Like you see him, he goes to do that, and then it's just whack with fucking chocolate across the face.
Oh wait a minute!
You don't mess with the chancla.
Yeah,
they can.
The fact that I never dated a Hispanic woman while I was in Clovis, but I understood that. They're like, wait, how the fuck do you know the chancla? It's like I get around the internet, okay.
Wait a minute. I think I found it, Rotten. Is this what you were talking about?
Perhaps. Yes.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Pop. Another good one is
Dale.
It's the long distance flip flop.
the other funny one I've seen. It was like in Florida, to where they had a, it's like it was.
Oh yeah, my mom had a wooden spoon
and a
too.
fucking alligator comes up, and you just see her slide her foot out of the chancla, and the gator just drifts away.
See if I can find out.
Yeah, it depends. Cannibal, like with Mexicans, it's usually the chancla. It's like of those of the Hispanic descent or more speaking. If you are of the more white variant, it's either a some form of wooden spoon or spatula, or you might have to go out and cut your own switch, depending on how you was raised.
Yeah,
See, it
for a while we
depended
ended up
on-
with the wooden spoon, and then my parents broke it on my brother's behind, and after that they got the official board of correction.
Yeah, because of how my father went through the punishment and whatnot.
This one rotten.
Yep, probably. Yeah. Like it was probably looking at the dog.
Dog.
I don't want none of that.
Wow.
Power of the scandal, I guess. Even in Australia, they know about the chancla.
Yeah, no, it really depended on what kind of trouble we were in, because my mom had her flip-flops, she had the wooden spoon, and she had my brother's Disney character belt.
Porter K.
Frosted, which voice do you want? The Southern Belle?
I always
depend on the kindness of strangers.
Oh, that's definitely the Southern Belle.
Yes.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Wait a minute, I have that.
I don't think I can do the Paddington like Sam can, otherwise known as the Freedom Frog. Like, have always depended on the kindness of strangers.
With a charming negress. With a charming
Charming
negress.
Oh,
I love that one.
Otherwise, if you want to see something that's like a little cooler in ways, and that I guess kind of a palate cleanser, I've got a thing of barnacles being removed from a sea turtle.
I've seen this one, I think. Go ahead.
You got a friend.
Like, it's just crazy, that whole thing. Because like you see the way the turtle reacts, it almost sounds like when you get that good pop of a freaking knuckle or something, where it's like, oh god, that feels better.
Yeah, because those things get on you and weigh you down.
Yeah.
I watched somebody remove barnacles from a crab, and it's like one growing in its eye, and it was really blinding that eye.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
when a freaking other animal sits there and
Leeches
lodges
off.
itself on your eye and
On in-house.
Yeah,
How much?
and these things like yeah, it's like popping a zit.
do we have to watch this?
What? You don't want to watch this, Angela? This is wholesome.
Well,
I mean, it's way better than the one to where it depends on which country it is. It's like the worms that get into it, and quite literally, they don't have to like pinch. They can just kind of like do it with their hand, but it's because the animals aren't properly maintained for where they live, and the owners don't pick up after their fecal matter.
Yeah.
So they get yeah, it's a weird one.
Let's see. You know what? I can't do Dear Prudence anymore because they done fucking
Paywalled
dog. Yeah, they paywalled it, so I had to find Dear Abby.
Oh, while you're doing that, have you heard about in Texas? It's a teacher who rescued a 15-year-old girl from being sexually assaulted outside his home.
What the fuck happened?
An individual was trying to sexually assault a girl and take her clothes off and whatnot. So, oh, damn it. Let me scroll back down. Yeah, so basically the guy saw it. He ran outside and pointed a gun at him to get her off her, so she was able to get away. And when he came out, he was damn near like buck naked. Yeah, because there's video of it. Because he was like trying to sleep and shit.
Look, he saved that girl's life.
Oh yeah. Well, hell, have you also heard the one to where a gentleman in Japan is actually getting tried for a kidnapping charge, even though he never did anything against the girls other than teach them realtory? They had put out, they had basically put out posts that they wanted to leave where they lived. So he offered. He never did anything against them. He encouraged them to still go to school. He taught them real estate because he was basically hoping that once they graduate high school, they would go work at his firm for real estate. And the only reason he's getting charged for kidnapping is because he didn't get the parents' permission. Like they said nothing, and there was absolutely no evidence that he quite literally he tried nothing. He was just like, I just wanted to hopefully get employees later on and expand the people who know about real estate. I wanted to pass along knowledge.
I wanted to expand my business and train my apprentices.
Yeah. It was basically that whole thing of, no, I'm not trying to do anything. I just want to give the knowledge I have to others so, they can work with me and eventually be the ones to take, or it's like, replace me.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more to it than just that. Maybe he should have, alerted the parents at the very least.
Yeah, that's why they said the whole reason why he's getting it is because he did not get permission from the parents.
So,
yeah, it's weird.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But dear Abby, all right, my sister opts for silence after request is denied. God, I missed Dear Prudence already. My husband and I have been pet owners for 30 years. Our last beloved dog passed away 6 months ago. We are in our 50s, still work full time. We agreed that we would not get any more animals because we would like to travel without worry for a change. My sister has a big old dog. It is good-natured and well-mannered, and she's hinting for me to keep him so she can go stay in her son's condo in Florida that allows no pets. Her dog may be well-mannered, but he drools and shakes his head and it flies all over my house and furniture. Yuck. I recommended a friend of mine to her who would take good care of him. After our last pooch died, we cleaned up our house, brought new rugs, and got rid of the dog odor. We are not ready for any more animals in our home. I commute to my job by train, and frankly, I don't have time to watch her dog. Since I recommended my friend, my sister stopped answering my calls and texts. I feel bad, but her animal is not my responsibility. My husband and I don't want to share our home with her 89-pound dog. Her request is presumptuous, and I feel guilty. What should I do? Just deal with the silence? I don't feel I deserve the punishment I'm receiving in the doghouse in Tennessee.
Okay, one, and this isn't meant to be a dig at women.
Would you say, Ryan? You kind of went wrong on me.
It's like one, and this isn't meant to be a dig at women necessarily. Just deal with the silence. Them trying to give you the silent treatment, fucking levels, is not necessarily a bad thing. Yet my levels dropped down to 57 for some reason.
It is weird.
them trying to do that, fuck them. Take that as a benefit. It is, you are not responsible because she wants to move somewhere and not want to take responsibility for the animal that she has.
She'll want to take care
You
of
are
her
under
own dog.
no you are under no obligation to watch that animal just because she wants to move. I know I have friends that would disagree with me because they are major animal lovers, but again, you also went above and beyond and tried to find another place for them because that's not what you're looking to do.
Yeah. I don't. Again, if you don't, it's not her fault that your son lives in a condo that doesn't take pets. You should be. You should.
Well, you don't need to live in your son's condo then.
I don't think it's like living in a condo per se. I think it's more like she wants to stay there for a while, and they don't allow pets.
It sounds like she's planning on moving into her son's, but wants to say that she still has a dog.
Yeah.
And that's just not how that works. Because even if your sister did end up taking the dog for you, that's not your dog anymore. That's now your sister's dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a while ago we read about like how somebody left a cat and it became her cat. Like you abandoned the cat.
Actually, it kind of reminds me more about the twins that we read about.
Mm-hmm.
Where suddenly the mom's pissed because she's taking the twin that the sister is taking the twin that her mother wrote over custody to her.
Yeah, the one she adopted
or whatever.
Yeah. And she wants. Oh no, you got to take them both.
You're taking your kid to France and not mine.
How dare you?
Nice one.
Had my moments.
But again, this shit seems insulting.
I agree with that too, brother. It's a
3 sides to every story.
Situation if she's talking about just leaving the dog with them for an undisclosed extended period of time.
3 sides to every story. How many times before did the other sister watch her animals when her and her husband went places?
Again, it kind of falls in the whole thing as well as the sister was under no obligation to watch her sister and brother, or her sister and her sister's husband's animals.
Nope.
Like I understand the whole thought process of that because, like, I've watched being in the military. When I was in the military, I'd watched friends' animals when they went on vacation, or for some of them even deployed. Or it's like, for one of my friends, like it'd be because she was medically retired from the military, but her husband was still in, so like she would go home on vacation for a few days while he was deployed just to kind of recoup and whatnot, to like go see her parents or his parents or something or other. And I'd go and watch the animals for a bit, and they'd come back and they'd usually thank me and like buy me dinner or some shit.
Shit, I used to. I would house sit for some people, and sometimes it included a dog.
They let you watch their house? Wow.
Yeah, I just stared at it for like 20 minutes and then left.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed inside. They just wanted him to go look at the house.
Yeah, I just randomly walked up, looked at it. It's a nice house.
Here's a tent. Here's where you can set it up in the yard. Keep an eye on the house for us.
Here, you're not allowed in the house.
Whoa. What do you think you're doing crossing the yard line? You stay on the sidewalk.
Hey, it's cold out. It's winter. It's cold out here. No, Tier. You're not allowed in the house. Bad Tier.
Then it turns out that the only reason why they brought him over there was just to try to make him feel bad because they had money.
I'm looking at it from the inside like, that's a nice place. I wish I had stuff like that.
Why am I here? There's people inside.
Why are you pointing and laughing at me? I don't get this.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember those days. I found another one.
I mean,
Hopefully,
the other joke that I've always seen that's funny from that one is the person that's just like they've always wanted to get like a
copy,
like one of those like weird ass looking dolls and whatnot that have a person come over to watch the fucking place.
Why?
I'm like, this doll is being really creepy and whatnot, you know, and everything. They'd be like, oh my god, grab the doll and get out of there.
Why?
Because it's mostly to fuck with their friends.
All right, like I told y'all before, I had a My Buddy doll. Yeah,
my buddy, that funky buddy.
That's
probably not how it's supposed to go.
Wow.
I don't know how that's supposed to go either.
I don't remember it, and I'm mildly intoxicated.
That song is Brass Monkey.
That funky monkey.
Exactly.
I'm scared to ask. What is that from?
Brass
the
Monkey.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Brass
that.
monkey. That funky monkey. Brass funky monkey. Or is it brass? Shit, I can't remember the part of it.
I don't remember the whole song.
All right. One more. My daughter's boyfriend is in no hurry to grow up. All right.
Depending on the scenario, it all depends. If they're still doing their job, fuck it.
Mm-hmm. My wife and I have a daughter, Liz, who is our life. She's 28 and a nurse. Her boyfriend, Owen, used to be a heavy cannabis user. My wife suspects he still uses it when he gets stressed. He is also a gambler. We have tried
he knows
to
when
give
to hold them and knows when to fold them.
know when to walk away.
Exactly.
Knows when to run.
Hope he's not counting his money when he's sitting at the table.
Time enough to count when the deal is done.
No.
Oh, come on. I grew up on Kenny Rogers, among other...
Exactly.
I found
the
King
very
Rogers
first
just
time I
looking
bought
this-
music for myself, I bought 2 cassette tapes. One was Kenny Rogers' Greatest Hits, and the other one was the Monkees' Greatest Hits.
Cassette tapes. What are those strange artifacts you speak of?
Cassette tapes. We had LPs and even had an 8-track.
I did not buy it, but I had Rubber Ducky from Sesame Street on 8-track.
Oh God, 8-track.
Like one of the earliest songs I can remember knowing knowing like all the lyrics to was Turtle Power from the original Ninja Turtles movie.
Yep.
And the funny part is the dude actually fucks up part of the lore because Raphael is not the leader of the group, and he says he is.
I can
By the
also
way,
do
if
Go
you
Ninja,
like
Go Ninja Go.
well, that's the second movie, which is it's okay. If you like the original Ninja Turtles movie and like a lot of the songs from it, it is no longer under copyright or whatever, and you can get it.
Really?
Yes. I was able to get it through the oh fuck, I can't remember what the goddamn website is. The same place you can actually get the first Night of the Living Dead movie, the original.
Internet Archive?
Yeah, it might be that.
I didn't know Ninja Turtles was out of copyright or the soundtrack.
I mean, it's early 1990s.
All right. Where was I? We tried to give Owen a chance. He had no place to stay, so he stayed in our walk-in in-law apartment. My wife thinks he's disrespectful, but I think she overreacts because she doesn't like him. Owen has been going out with my daughter for 4 years now. He says he's getting her a ring, but nothing transpired. Liz seems to love him, but my wife and I feel he's not a good choice and is headed for trouble down the road. I'm at my wit's end, and my wife is constantly stressed. I know you are going to say our daughter is 28 and an adult, etc., but the situation is different. What else can you offer? Struggle along in New York. Struggle along in New York. Again, if she's 28, she's an adult. She can make her own shitty choices.
Yep.
Our daughter is different. What exactly makes her different?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got something for you to practice saying. Dear,
No.
we love you and we want what's best for you. If you want to marry him, go ahead. We're just concerned. We're not going to get in the way. It's your choice. It's your life. We have these worries.
Well,
but we will be here.
Because my memory is being a bit, or it's like my short-term memory is being a bit faulty. Were they saying that they were having any problem with not paying their bills?
No.
Nope.
No.
Then
They think he might smoke pot when he's stressed.
Okay, that's a big whatever, in my opinion. As long as the bills are getting paid and they're making sure any debt they may or may not have is being paid off as well, I will be the asshole. What the fuck are you bitching about? Because first and foremost, if all the bills are paid, that means I also include like that includes food in that whole thing. They are doing what they need to do to pay for where they have to live, vehicle, phones, utilities, food. Those things are being maintained where they potentially have a roof over their head. If they're having problems with that, maybe you need to sit them down and be like, hey, I understand you have issues. You may have some stressors. These are the main things you need to pay for first.
You need to focus on your stuff.
I don't know how many conversations I had with just random folks in the military that were like, yo, why does it seem like you can do what you want? And I'm like, because first and foremost, I pay all my bills.
Thoughts, him?
I'm sorry, what?
I was asking
He
him.
said thoughts, Hammer.
Oh, he said Hammer? I thought he said thoughts, Tim. I was like,
Tim?
I'm not Tim, so it wasn't me. I'm not saying anything.
Tim? Who else? Tim?
I know. That's what I said. I was like, I don't think it's Tim.
What the
Maybe
fuck
there's
is
people here-
Tim?
Has somebody joined the chat? I didn't know about it.
I'm not accepting that nickname.
Yeah. Hammer will do fine. Thank you. I'm the kind of guy who would not get involved with this. She's like he said, she's a grown up. She can make her own decisions. But I would say, the assumption here is that he's there rent free. That wouldn't stand. That wouldn't have stood with me from the beginning. If you're going to live here, you're going to pay rent. That's all there is to it.
Well, yeah, because he's not one of their children. If it's your own child, that's
still paying rent.
That's
still a maybe thing.
That's hit or miss
28?
depending on on your child. If there's someone who legitimately is doing things to better themselves and they're just at a rough patch in their life, but they have been responsible and just had a little bit of bad luck, some parents are more likely to be like, okay, you don't have to pay rent. But if there's someone who like doesn't give a shit and tries to mooch off everyone, no, bitch, your ass is paying rent because you don't fucking take any responsibility for anything.
Yeah, they're paying rent no matter what. I mean, I'll let them go into debt with me if they want to do that. But
again, it falls.
Yeah,
that's why I said it falls into the per person. But Angela, you were saying?
No, I don't. I think it really depends, like Rotten was saying, on the specific situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is the possibility that they are like attending school or something and they don't have the money to pay rent until they finish their program that they're working on. or something like that.
Well, I'll use myself as a prime example. After I got out of the military, I actually lived with my folks for approximately a year. I didn't have to pay rent, and my parents and I had an agreement. And it was the same agreement I had before I joined the military. If my dad wanted me to help with anything around the house, anything at all, just try to give me a couple days notice. I most likely didn't have plans, but still, it was the whole thing of just give me a couple days notice in case I actually do have plans with the couple of friends I legitimately talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also, I buy food as well, and if you eat something that I bought, just let me know, because it's not that I'm going to get pissed. It'd be like, okay, I had planned to eat that on this day or whatever, so I can pick something up. I'm not mad about it. Hell, I might have bought it to fucking make dinner for all three of us.
Much different than when I grew
Mm-hmm.
up, but I'm in a much different place when I grew up. You know, we're talking 60s when I was growing up, so it's a lot different for me.
Okay,
as soon as 18 came around, I was paying rent, because by 18 I had a job, and I didn't buy food. She bought food. I would ask her to buy food for me.
Well, the
so
difference,
it was very different back then.
Well, you're closer to my dad's age in that whole thing, because like I'm 38,
61 right now.
Yeah, my dad is, because it was his birthday on Friday, so technically that will put him 7 years older than me in that whole thing. And thank you. I'm pretty sure he'll appreciate it, because he's 26 years older than me until it's like on the average, but now it's the 27 thing. So I'm 38. So he's like 64, I think, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say next year he turns 65.
So I was paying rent for my
But
mother.
this is also the same
job.
person that, like, my dad left his parents' house and to join the military at 17.
Okay.
But my dad is also the same person who grew up in the whole thing of, even though he was the youngest of the three children, he did not get preferential treatment like most people think from the TV shows and movies. My grandparents, especially my grandfather on that side, believed in the whole concept of, one of you fucked up, so I'm going to punish all three of you, so all three of you will learn a lesson.
Uh-huh.
See,
and he was also the same one who quite literally kind of challenged him to a fist fight, and then he terrified my uncle, who, though he had a leg disability, which caused him to be, the mama's boy, and the middle child was the girl, which was daddy's girl, had the whole thing. After getting into basically a pseudo fight with the two boys of the family, my grandfather basically said, "Oh no, I'm going to bide my time until I strike you with a full-on fist," and waited until my uncle got married.
Oof.
And then after he got married, did the whole thing of basically take his fist and just push it along the chin to be like, you finally did something right.
Aww.
Yes, this is why I actually bring up, if I could go back in time, I would actually look into boxing, because I would become my grandfather's favorite grandchild, and probably have fix the relationship between my father and his father 30 years earlier than it did.
I learned this. You can't fix.
Well, I bring that up because when my parents were going to close the deal, or the loan or whatever on the house that they have lived in, and I'm not in a whole thing, to close the whole thing on that, my dad had contacted his mother and father to ask if they could watch me and my brother, who is same mother, different father, for a couple of hours.
Okay.
They said no, though he could hear my two cousins in the background. Now, that is the son from my uncle and the daughter from my aunt. So that just fucked a lot of things up. Yeah, I have a really weird fucking relationship with them, like quite literally because of how my grandmother was when she passed while I was in Okinawa. I was in the whole, I don't know how to feel about this.
Oops.
Sorry, we got a little too dark there, folks, or deep, or something. Yeah, fuck hippos, fuck communism.
All right, so let me explain something about my grandmother, my aunt, and my mother. So my aunt got away with murder, bloody murder, when she was younger, which spoiled her. And my mother, being the oldest, was always the one to pick up the pieces. Because of that, my mother was far more disciplinarian than my aunt was.
Yeah, your mother wasn't going to let you get away with shit.
She wasn't. But that also meant she was hard. She was also hardworking. She spent most of her time at work, and I spent more of my time with my grandmother than my cousins did because their mother was always getting shit. Literally.
I'll put it this way: I'm not denigrating my grandparents in general because, like, on my mom's side, my grandparents were awesome. It's just 3/4 of my grandparents are actually Southern, and if I also bring up, like, that's why I brought up the whole thing of my grandmother on my dad's side, so my grandfather, his mother, is, from what I'm aware of, supposed to be 100% Cherokee, and his father was insane because he was the 18th surviving child.
Good little muscle.
Yes, and my grandfather was basically raised by one of his eldest brothers.
I told you the story of how my grandfather moved my grandmother and all of her sisters up north, right?
I don't know.
So my grandfather met my grandmother when he was like, I think she was 16 and she was 13. And he got into some shit in the South, like that, as the story goes. And I don't know whether it was in Virginia or North Carolina, but one of the southern states. And to avoid that, he moved his brothers, his sisters, his family, most of his family of his generation, moved all of them up north. And he took my grandmother and all of her sisters with her because they were all like orphans because their grandmother, her mother, was crazy as fuck.
I mean, on my mom's side, I had the great grandmother that didn't like the fact that one of our ancestors is the legitimate Captain Morgan.
He says, "I've got a bottle of stuff right next to me."
He sounds cool and all until you realize for a portion of his life, he quite literally ate belt and shoe leather to survive.
Yep.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But to go in a different aspect, I guess it's supposed to be Stream Uncle. For the second TMNT, I still have a lot of issues with that because of Jim Henson.
Why?
Jim Henson originally designed and made the
he didn't want them using weapons.
And because of how violent the first one was, he didn't like that. So they weren't allowed to use their weapons against people. And while I understand the Super Shredder of Kevin Nash playing that's dope, they pushed that too fast, which fucked over the third movie, which is not as bad as people try to make it out to be.
It's a time travel story, and it could fit in a timeline because it could play off how
it falls in a timeline because while predominantly everyone thinks of the Ninja Turtles as being science fiction, the Ninja Turtles also has a metric fuck ton of supernatural. Almost every single iteration of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that doesn't involve just the movies has some form of time travel in it.
Or it has
no, I'm actually dead
reincarnations.
The original cartoon has time travel. The 2003 version has time travel. The 2012 cartoon has time travel. It's just the most recent, like a live action variation. I'm not sure of the most recent cartoon, but all of them have done a mixture of science fiction and supernatural.
Yeah, they fought vampires. They fought fucking space aliens. They're technically, like, depending on the continuity, they're fucking reincarnations of a family that was killed by Strider in ancient Japan.
But going into anything else other than what you discussed on Wednesday, Hammer, you have anything new you want to talk about? Since it's just, I think, been mostly like me and Tier with a mixture of Will and Angela.
Well, the only thing I was wondering if you guys are going to talk about tonight, I don't know if I missed it because I wasn't here for the first half hour, but did anybody mention Susan WikiWiki?
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually did bring up that I was in agreement with you that the people who were going apeshit because of her dying and being jackasses about it are just jackasses. Like,
well, they're fucking
I never wanted her to die. I wanted to see her like shamed for the shit she did.
I never wanted her to die. I wanted her to step on a Lego every day of her life for the rest of her life.
Well, you gotta remember,
wanted to be very long.
But you gotta remember two things: the same people that cheer for your, that are tolerant and loving and preach all that shit, are the same ones that will gleefully wish for your death.
Well, it kind of falls into the same thing of like what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, of the people who got all fucking butthurt because he was like, I'm going to write in Ron Paul. It's like, I don't care. I supported you of what happened to you because you were in the right. And the people are like, how dare you? MAGA supported you. You must follow MAGA. It's like, dude, fuck yourself.
Again, that's the same cult mentality that is on the left. Like, we shouldn't be doing that.
Is Ron Paul pro 2A?
Yes.
I want to say he's actually more pro 2A than our current two candidates.
Okay.
Because Trump is more pro 2A than Kamala is, obviously, but he is definitely not pro 2A if you actually know the
He's
fact
not
that
hardcore.
He was the one who initiated the bump stock ban.
Yeah. He's still more pro 2A than Kamala, but he's not.
He's still more pro 2A than Beta.
I mean, he's more pro 2A than probably most of the people on the ticket, but he's not a true pro 2A candidate.
No. Oh, God. And then the shit with not Tony Gonzalez. Again, watching way too much Unsubscribed podcast, but Tim Walz. That whole shit of them trying to be like, he's a gunner. It's like, dude, would you stop trying to correlate hunting with the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
This is why, like, don't get me wrong. I love NCIS, but it's like it's the season after, so I think it's like season 14, after the guy who plays Tony retires or quits NCIS.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring in the guy who plays Fez, which good actor.
Wilmer Valderrama.
And then they bring in another gal as well, but they bring the whole thing of like some female congressman. She's like, she went for the gun control legislation while in full hunting gear. And it's like, hunting has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. Stop thinking that. This is like the people that were like, well, you always forget that it says well regulated. You don't understand the language of the time, of what the context meant.
Check a contemporary dictionary. Well regulated simply meant that was in
well trained,
practiced working order, well trained. It had nothing to do with being controlled by laws or regulations.
Is why is there a comma that says, a well-regulated militia being a necessity to a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Who are you talking to, though?
I'm just talking aloud at the moment.
Yeah, but who are you talking to? Are you talking about people who disagree with you?
Slightly.
There's nobody here who disagrees with you, man.
There's
nobody in chat that disagrees with you.
Probably.
But about Susan WikiWiki.
Yes. Back to that.
Didn't she just lose her son to suicide like a year or two ago?
I'm not sure. I know she lost to the big C cancer, and that is
lung cancer.
Yeah, fucking terrible. Like, that shit sucks, man. Like, I'm glad Moonshock survived, but it's just like, goddamn, like,
Yeah,
that fucking sucks, man.
I guess
Yes,
I'll fire
you
up
get into
Google
the.
here.
Yep.
I don't wish that on.
Hold on. On February 13th, 2024, Wojcicki's 19-year-old son, Mark Topher, died while a student at a student at University of California, Berkeley. His grandmother stated that he injected drugs. Those specifics are unclear. Colley's death was an acute combination of drug toxicity and
accidental
troper.
overdose.
Oh God, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
that's one of the
I don't
reasons.
wish that kind of thing on anyone, not even my ex, and she was evil.
Well, that's one of the things I kind of hate about college because, you know, comparatively to what everyone thinks of how, like, in the ghetto, you're going to get drugs pushed upon you. From everything I've seen, and so many people I have met that have gone through college, so many more drugs are pushed in college than they are in any other location. Because
Did you know that Susan wasn't a
your
smoker?
mind, man.
Huh?
Well,
Did you know Susan was not a smoker?
That's actually not that surprising. Majority of what I've seen, like a lot of people who are not smokers are for some odd reason the ones that develop the lung cancer and shit like that.
With the guy that he just died, and he not Hawaii 5-0. Shit, I can't remember the show, and if I look it up, I probably can find it. But he had died of lung cancer too. A famous black actor.
Because that was like a joke on Mad TV of like the two characters to where the daughter had lung cancer, but the mother is a heavy smoker and she's the one donating her lung and doesn't have lung cancer.
Oh man, what is it? It was the show on fuck, I can't remember the name of it.
She died of non-small cell lung cancer. I don't know if that's the kind that you get from smoking or if that's the kind you get from genetics.
I have no clue.
Thousand Island.
Thousand Island. We're not talking about fucking salad dressing here, Tier.
No, I'm because I know one of the singers in the Thousand Island band, the Lonely Islands. My bad.
Thousand Island band. Like it's not a salad dressing.
I'm talking about the Lonely Islands. Andy Samberg. And I know if I look for that, I can find it because he plays it. He was the lead in it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And
Andre Brower.
There it is. He died. He wasn't a smoker either, and he died recently. I believe he died of lung cancer.
There are a lot of people who are not smokers who die of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Brower had been a smoker previously, but quit in 2010.
I'm searching Google over and over again, and I cannot find the kind of lung cancer smokers get. I've like 6 or 7 searches now, and like they just say, well, yeah, they get lung cancer. Yeah, duh. I know that. I specifically said what kind of cancer, and I get no information at all. Fucking Google sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I use Bing.
You use Bing, really?
Yeah. I prefer Bing.
Let's see what DuckDuckGo has to say.
Yeah, I use DuckDuckGo.
Susan, couldn't you have tried to improve things while you were there?
Like, I will still maintain to this day that when the first adpocalypse happened, Susan Wojcicki should have looked at all them fucking SJWs
and told them to go fuck themselves.
And told them to go fuck themselves. We're going to keep the people you disagree with here so they can still be mocked if need be.
Hammer. It is small cell lung cancer.
Yeah, I got it from DuckDuckGo as well. People who smoke get small cell lung cancer, and she got non-small cell lung cancer. But non-small cell lung cancer is the most common kind of cancer. So she didn't get the kind of cancer that smokers get, but she got the kind of cancer that people normally get. So yeah, it sounds like she wasn't a smoker. There's no evidence that she was, and she didn't get the right kind of cancer for that a smoker would get. So It's terrible, though. Everybody complains about her and her restrictions, and it's not like Raju Mahan is any better because he's not.
I think he's worse.
No, she was terrible at the job and terrible person for the job. Don't wish death on her. Don't wish cancer on her.
Matt and Blonde never got any kind of strikes under Susan, yet they've gotten 4 strikes under Raju Mahan. So I think you're right. I think it's gotten worse with him.
It
Raju Mahan.
Goddamn motorcycles in the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah, if you say Raju Mahan looking in a mirror 3 times,
he'll pop up and
demonetizes you.
Oh, you want to talk about
Delete your channel.
motorcycles or two-wheeled motorized vehicles in the middle of the night? I have a story for you from Okinawa.
Okay.
Granted, I was not there for this, so I am one person removed from who told me about this. One of the gals that I worked with, she was talking about how one night she was driving home and she got to a red light. And though it had turned green, she couldn't actually go forth because there was like 2 or 3 police cars chasing after predominantly mopeds. And because of their mobility, the cop car would stop and they would just circle around the cop car because they couldn't get out fast enough and everything. So she quite literally was there for 2 green light cycles to where she couldn't move, predominantly because she couldn't breathe from laughing too hard. Because yes, quite literally the motorcycle, it's like the mopeds and motorcycles would fuck with the police officers at about 2 a.m. to where you would just hear nothing but nonstop revving.
God damn it! All right. So
yeah, because
lately
they would go and they would kind of get to the whole intersection, and the cops would go and they would stop so they could get out of their vehicle. So the mopeds and motorcycles would just start fucking circling so they couldn't really do anything until the light was about to turn, and they just fucking take off. So the cops would get back in the vehicle and take off after them.
No, that's being a stupid cop. Roll your window down, spray them.
Yeah. Well, it's Japan, so they don't really carry near as much.
They don't do that in Japan?
No, the last time I got pulled over in Japan was because it was like 2 a.m. and it was on a Friday, or technically a Saturday morning, to where I was driving home because we had to stay late.
Mm-hmm.
So a cop quite literally pulled me over, looked at me, put up a breathalyzer test. I blew into it, passed. He pointed at the drink I had just bought, which was a green tea. And I was like, sir, that's a green tea. He gave me a thumbs up and said to go on my way.
That's funny because according to Google, Japanese cops carry pepper spray.
This was Okinawa. I don't know how.
Japan has no laws against possessing or using pepper spray, including the local police stations.
I think that also may depend on what helmets they use. So again, I'm one person removed. I'm relaying the information that was told to me.
Yeah.
And how she had a hard time talking. It's like, paying attention to everything because she couldn't breathe from laughing so much.
Yeah.
Because the motorcyclists and mopeders, they will fuck with the cops. Being third shift or mids, there was a police station near us, and you would quite literally hear them drive by it, and that's when they would, as soon as they got near it, they would start revving the shit out of their engines.
Yeah, it sounds a little sketchy that what they told you, because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it falls in that whole thing. It all depends on the area. I don't know if all of the police officers in Japan carry mace.
And when they started.
She only brought up how this happened one time.
Once.
Well, the article's from 2022, so last 2 years at least.
Yeah, and I want to say when she told me this, it was like 2019.
Okay,
again, like I said, I don't know in that whole thing. It's just depending on the location. Yes, they'll do shit to fuck with police officers.
Oh, here's an article: Personal Self-Defense Products in Japan from 2016. Oh, see, I have this person has the same questions you do. They're going to Japan. They want to know if they can use pepper spray.
Yeah.
Can I bring my shotgun, or do I gotta bring my katana?
Well, on Okinawa, it's exponentially harder to like. You can go through the whole thing, get like a minor FFL, so you can buy some of the guns that are there that'll then be sent back to stateside.
Mhm.
Otherwise, no, you can't possess a firearm. I mean, hell, even carrying a regular pocket knife is technically illegal. Because it's got to be below a certain image or below a certain length. And then in that whole situation, they can still fucking get you for it.
See, that's why you carry Japanese steel. You gotta get a katana. Perfectly.
Even that shit's technically illegal.
This is just anecdotal evidence. What I've got here, this one guy said, "Yeah, I got jumped in the club once, so I carry it with me all the time now." So apparently you can, but this is just he had this experience, so he got it. It doesn't mean police have it, or that a lot of police have it, or every policeman has it. So it's anecdotal, but it looks like all the way back to 2016, you could if you wanted to. It wasn't illegal, so I kind of expected it to be illegal because Japan is so polite. You have people who commit crimes and they expect to get caught. You know, it's just a different way of looking at life.
That's the whole thing of being taught, not so much for Okinawa, a little bit in Okinawa, but still for Okinawa and mainland Japan, that there will be certain people that if you catch them in like the midst of a crime because of and them being usually more well dressed, they will basically tell you need to take a different route. And the proper response to that is like, I think I need to take a different route.
I get it.
Oh no, I've heard enough stories of like old coworkers and whatnot that have accidentally walked into clubs and whatnot and had a drink and everything to where the club was technically rented out by the Yakuza. But because they weren't a complete asshole, they basically got let off with a warning. It's like they weren't a complete asshole. They weren't being dicks to the Yakuza's girls and everything. They were just like, I just came out to have a good time. This is a place I normally go to. I didn't realize that y'all had this thing. So it's like, if y'all want me to leave, I will fucking leave.
Yeah,
probably a smart decision.
Well, it's the Yakuza is exponentially different than the predominant gangs of the West.
If they're there, they probably own the club or something, right? Wouldn't they just be making money if he was there?
Yes and no. Sometimes they'll still have a thing to where they want it for themselves.
Or maybe they don't like foreigners.
Yeah. Well, there definitely are places to where if you don't have a regular civilian passport, you'll have a much harder time getting in there. But sometimes like they may want because of like whatever celebration, they may want a joint specifically for themselves. Like from what I was told, this was something that did not happen. It was a very rare occurrence.
Yeah, you keep your ears open if you hear the word gaijin, time to leave.
Yes.
If you see a lot of guys,
I have a word for you, Tier. So
yeah, if you see a lot of guys in suits that kind of have tattoos and whatnot, well, with Tier, depending on where he's at, they're going to call him Chocolate Man.
Fuck, I care.
There's a more specific word.
With the word hammer on my stream, I said you say what the hell you want.
It's not that I'm worried about you or your channel. It's just something I don't say.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Fair enough. You should.
But it's very close to the American variant. That's too close for me. It ends with EROU, but basically it's the same word.
Yeah.
Okay. I've learned this. People are going to say a lot of shit about me. Okay.
Well, I mean, in Japan, from my 3 years there, and then a couple times getting to go to mainland and everything, a lot of it was, even if you didn't know Japanese, of how you portrayed yourself. If you came there being arrogant and cocky, they weren't going to like you. But if you came in there basically at least somewhat trying to do something to kind of learn the language or have a phone with it would, you know, you could go through back and forth so you could kind of have that conversation. And it was basically that whole thing of like, you weren't being a dick, you weren't going to have any problems.
Johnny Somali, that's what I'm thinking of. Like that ass had that had the whole fucking country of Japan wanting his neck.
Because like I'll still openly admit, it's like I only spent a few years there, and just going on to like the base BX in Okinawa, I got pissed at the people that would take up the entirety of the escalator, because in Japan it was if you were going to stand still and not walk up the escalator, you stood to the right. If you were going to walk up the escalator, you did that on the left. And you would see a bunch of fucktarded Americans that would fucking lean against the side of the left side of the escalator. And it's like, motherfucker, get out of my goddamn way.
That's typical road
rules.
Yeah, road rules. But the word I'm looking for is
etiquette.
Pleasantry. So along that lines is that you just don't do that
Courtesy?
because
courtesy.
Yeah,
it's road courtesy that you keep right past left only. That's the way it used to have to be at one point. Now you can pass you to the lane, but back when I was learning how to drive, it was keep right past left only.
Oh,
same
same
thing should apply to an escalator, you would think.
But commonly in the U.S., most people don't think of folks who are going to walk up an escalator.
We're fat.
Well, most people don't think someone's going to walk up an escalator. They think they're going to get on the
that would be
escalator.
exercise.
Yeah,
we're far too busy being fat to ever exercise, so we would never do that.
Like the old, what was it, Mitch Hedfield joke to where it's like, escalator temporarily stairs.
Yeah.
I take the stairs more often nowadays because again, I'm a fat ass and I'm trying not to be a fat ass. So
I don't really go anywhere that has an escalator anymore with where I live in Michigan, but it was still just one of those things. Like children doing it, I can kind of understand. But when I saw grown ass adults that have been out in the areas of Japan, it's like, motherfucker, you know better. Like I still remember I think it was my second TDY to mainland, and one of our coworkers got a call while he was on the train or on the train, and he answered it, and quite literally his first response after hello was, "I'm on the train, make this quick," because you get stared at.
Yeah, they don't like it when you talk on the phone on the trains there.
Oh yeah, like, and
they
he
really
wasn't,
don't like that.
he wasn't being loud or anything. Like, and he was pissed the whole thing. It's like he understands you're not gonna know when it's like make it quick. I'm on the train. I'm not getting stared at for this shit. So like, if you can't text me or call me back, you better make this fucking quick.
yeah.
Now I will admit, when I came back from Japan, it did take me about 2 to 3 months to realize in certain situations, yeah, I wasn't driving on the right side of the road.
Oh, wow.
Hey, 3 years driving in a right-hand drive on the left side of the road, you get a little used to it. I'll still openly admit, for a lot of things, I like the way at least Japan, predominantly Okinawa, did for a lot of their road construction, to where during the regular days, or like during the regular day frame, they would work on it so you would have the whole having to merge the zipper effect. But when they weren't going to work on it, they had shit that would cover it so that lane could still be used.
Are we like the only country that drives on the right hand side of the road?
It's predominantly like, I think, us, Canada, and Mexico. In South America, maybe.
North America. North and South
So
America.
entire Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, basically the Western Hemisphere. And yeah, Kyiv, I definitely recommend, if you ever get the chance to go, highly recommend it. They've got some great food. And by the way, the same dude who I said got the call on the radio, or not the radio.
Are we still talking Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same dude who got called on the phone while we were on the train is also the same one who decimated a fucking 72-ounce tomahawk steak.
Oh, I think you showed us there.
I would like to visit Japan. It's not the first one on my list, but I definitely would like to be there.
Highly recommend it. Go to mainland. Like
maybe it's a little different. Maybe I should say if I were to move somewhere permanently, Japan would be first on my list. But it's not the first place I want to visit. Definitely want to go to Australia.
One of the like
You just want to go see Kari.
I wouldn't mind going to Australia, but I don't really care as much. Just
I
Japan
want
had
to
so much that I liked.
I want to terrorize Claudia Brown.
The biggest.
I want to knock on her door. Hi, I'm the guy you hate. Remember me?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Do you remember her, Claudia Brown? She used to be called Ranting Feminist.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're friends and enemies, and friends and enemies, and also friends and enemies.
So you're frenemies?
Yeah, because I mean, we talk every once in a while in DMs on Twitter and stuff like that, and we're very flirty and personable. But as soon as she posts something on Twitter, I write her ass about it, and she hates me. But then you get on DMs and say, "How you doing? Oh, good. I haven't talked to you in a while. How you been?" You know, it's all very friendly in DMs, like we're best friends. You know, and there's even a little bit of flirting going
that
on.
whole thing. She hates you.
But
She hates that she's called out, but she's glad she's called out because you're keeping her honest.
Maybe, but you know, I have no problems with her at all.
Yeah.
Even calling her out, even if I disagree with her, I have no problems at all because
I mean,
and she hates when I say this, but she's a reasonable person.
Yeah.
You know, but
no,
she hates me because anytime I call her out, I have good evidence for what I'm saying, and then she looks wrong. She don't like that. So,
but going back to the whole like visiting Japan, highly recommend it. They got great food. I super miss the fucking arcades.
Ah, yes.
And the funny part is for the arcades, because like, okay, to get into a little weird thing of it, they actually even have things like the specific arcades for like Gran Turismo, I think, but like predominantly like Mario Kart and shit like that, to where you can have a card made that will have your entire profile on it. So when you go to a different arcade, you can put that card in to have your profile to keep continuing on it. I don't care about that. I loved playing the crane games. I quite literally probably have like a dozen different figures and damn near 24 fucking plushies that I have won from those, on top of I think it's half a dozen Bluetooth devices and even a car vacuum.
Wait a minute. Wait, God. Hold. No. I need to check and see if this is true. I saw something that really. No. Don't do this.
What happened? Do I want to know, Tier?
I'll put it up in. I'll put it up, and I'm praying that this just is AI generated or something. This clickbait, because this shouldn't. No, you can't do this.
What the actual?
That looks like it's AI generated.
I'm hoping it is. Again,
I heard something about the possibility of them redoing.
I do know that they're redoing it.
No, you can't. I get David Bowie's dead. I trust and believe. I understand it, but
going back to the Japan
movie.
thing with what I don't know the Miki thing that Key's saying she wants to meet. Two of the big things I highly recommend. I didn't get to see the one. They do have a giant Gundam. Yes. At two specific time frames of the day has certain parts that quite literally do change up how it looks. So I did not get to see that. The other that I want to, and we just didn't at the time frame, is the fact that they have a thing you can go to where you can get on a go-kart, dress as Mario characters, and depending on what time of the day it is, they have a legitimate bridge that they will light up as if it were the Rainbow Bridge from Mario Kart.
Hey, I hate the Rainbow Road. Every sensible person hates the Rainbow Road. Don't put me on that because I might bomb it.
But just like the place where they also have the giant Gundam, they also have a little museum of folks who have made the Gundam figures and shit, and some of the stuff they have done. And I'd have to look through my pictures to find what, like, some of those things are absolutely ridiculous.
Wow, this came out 86. I didn't know that. Apparently it's being shelved. This could be it was a sequel, not a remake. So thank you, Jesus.
While there was opening for a sequel, it wasn't necessary.
There's a manga series that actually that completes the story. It was an official manga done by Jim Henson production. That literally is the sequel. It was pretty good. Never played this in the really, Jen, come on.
Jesus Christ, I did not realize how big this fucking picture was, apparently. I'm trying to get it in frame. Like, this whole thing of having a Gundam being like 0G, this is a Gundam that a regular fucking person made. And made all the shit around it and whatnot. This was in their museum. But otherwise, it's almost been 2 3/4 of an hour. Tyr, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hannah wants to eat or go to bed or something.
Huh.
And Kyiv, I do agree with you. Yes, they should be original for once.
Sequels, reboots, and seboots. No, go 2 3 hours now. What do you know what? On the birthday stream for Rod and fucking James, we'll do 3 hours.
Yeah, like this is the giant Gundam as well. Let's see, do I have one that gives a better perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we could see the people in the foreground. Happy birthday, Keith. Well, today and tomorrow.
Well, it's her cousin's birthday.
Oh, cousin's.
Yeah, like this thing was fucking massive, and it was cool as shit to see. Like, quite literally, I will just say, if you go to Japan, play the role of the tourist. It's actually pretty fun. The majority of them are actually really cool, as long as you abide by the majority of rules of that whole thing.
Be polite, respect the people, respect the culture, and you have no problem.
With the Romans.
Remember, Ohio means hello.
Ohio means family.
We're not talking Hawaiian, retard.
oh, sorry. Okay.
If I remember correctly, sumimasen means excuse me.
Yeah, pretty much. Gomenasai.
I want to say
Sorry.
means I'm sorry.
I'm
Like, quite
sorry.
literally, if you learn like a few phrases of like hello, excuse me, and I'm sorry, you can quite literally get along pretty fine.
Yeah, well, you're gonna run into something, and I'm very critical of the French as a rule, but I'll give them one thing. You know, they've got their share of snooty and unfriendly and everything, but my understanding is if you go there and you're nice and you try, and they don't care if you're trying is, hey, I've got a guidebook with phrases, and I mispronounce every single one of them. If it's clear you're trying, then the French people that 2 minutes ago didn't know a word of English will speak to you in English and French and try to help you out and actually be polite. Even in Paris.
Oh yeah,
Again,
in a lot
go
of
to Rome,
places,
go to
as
Rome.
long as you're somewhat trying.
Just tell them you're from Canada, and they'll be okay.
I'm from Canada.
They wouldn't believe it, because if you're from Canada, you should know French.
Not really. There's only one province that really speaks French.
Yeah, but it's kind of expected that you can at least somewhat speak it.
They certainly
Parlez-vous français?
Justin Trudeau is trying to make it so everyone knows French, but
Emperor Trudeau of
yes,
House Castro.
Kazakhstan?
No, House Castro. First of his name. His great father, Fidel. No.
But yeah, you do the same kind of thing in Japan. You learn some basic words, a few simple phrases. You take good resources with you. You be polite. You be respectful.
No. As someone who's been there, quite literally, if you have Google Translate, you can get through quite a bit. The other thing is, because a lot of what you're gonna do via like a credit card and whatnot, and you're not gonna have arguments of trying to like barter and shit.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you kind of like follow the thing of, I'm gonna do this as regular, you're not really gonna have a lot of problems in Japan as an American or as a Westerner in general.
They like American men. At least women do.
The funniest thing I will say in that is like the looking, or I shouldn't say looking, it was like the whole thing on Twitter of the folks who don't realize that there are legitimately dark-skinned Asians.
Yes, there are.
They don't really have a problem with men cheating either.
No, because the way they look at, well, their whole culture on that's entirely different. I mean, they're also the ones who are expected to, put several hours a day, if not a week, of unpaid overtime into companies.
Yeah, no. All right, so, Rotten, today is the Talking to the Void night?
Yes.
All right. On Rodden's channel, he does a movie review. Tonight, he also does Talking Into the Void at 11:55.
Last week, we reviewed Weatherman. If you haven't seen it,
that's a good movie.
I actually recommend it. It was far better than expected.
Yes, it was.
It was good.
Angela, quiz. Sorry, damn it. Mr. Adam is doing his Monday show.
Mr. Adam is on hiatus for a while.
Oh, well, shit. You can come to join the Minions with me and Mitch for a while.
We'll see. Maybe.
Today was an art stream.
Yep.
Well, so next week is a game stream.
Next week is an odd, so it is a game stream.
What are you playing?
Still in the grounded.
Okay.
I got grounded and I'm stuck there.
Will has on his Twitch channel art streams every even Sunday or every even Saturday. And every odd Saturday, he has the gaming stream, which he's currently playing through Grounded. 5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. Hammer, you just want to promote the Minions and the Wednesday show, correct?
Oh, the Wednesday show, yeah.
Yes, on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern, you can find Hammer along with
the Wednesday show,
along with Gentine Maxie and Terry Diamantis, discussing all sorts of topics that they may or may not even get to.
Is that true? They may or may not even get to.
There
We
is
never get to our
also
topics. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that.
There
Never
is
get to our
also
topics.
a music poll that will usually be tied for an extended period of time.
If I don't know the band,
I'm having fun with my announcer voice. Let me be.
Don't please. You sound like Jack Dunsky.
Seriously?
No, you don't sound like Jack Gun. Are you okay? Don't die, please.
Don't die on this.
That was all done via voice. Like I have.
No, I'm not okay, but I'll survive.
You can find me Mondays on the Minions channel at 11 o'clock. We do Minions in Space, me, Mitch, Nemo, and Dr. Functional.
I normally join as well, but this Monday I have to work late, so I won't be joining.
Oh, that sucks ass. You can also find me on this channel with the Never Watch Alone. Me, Angela, Dr. Functional, and Mitch Nemo again. Man, I hang out with Mitch and Functional way too often. You can find us
me when
there.
I'm not working, but I usually am.
Yeah, we are doing Red Sun Genesis next week, and we're doing this week we're doing Red Sun Genesis this week, and Legend of the Lone Ranger.
I mean, granted, we'll still have a Saturday in between them, but I may be trying to do something on the 27th because so far I should have that day off, considering I go to speak to the VA on the 28th.
All right, so
them to probably tell me there's nothing wrong with me.
You said the
20
August or September?
August.
So the 27th.
I don't have it. Otherwise, until then, I don't have vacation until technically my birthday, which is on a Monday. And I took that entire week off from the 30th of September to the 4th.
Yeah, I don't have vacation coming up soon. Yeah. Fuck
it. I mean, I still have to figure out what to do with 3 more days of vacation.
All right. So, and then I have the midnight show next week. Guest will be drumroll. I believe Jack Gunsky.
Jack Gunsky.
Jack Gunsky.
Sorry.
Let me make sure.
Hammer's like, I'm sorry for your loss.
I like Jack, but don't tell him I said that.
Yeah, Gunsky, and then the following week we had Travis Gardner. Hammer, what are you doing the 5th of October?
I'm going to be on the show.
Sweet, thank you.
Didn't see that coming.
Okay, yes, sir. You are going to be on the show 5th of October.
It's great when people make it easy for you, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I like if I got stuff in advance and.
Like, I probably need to think of like bringing in some potential guests for some of the movie reviews and whatnot. But it was rather funny talking to Weatherman and having fucking Batman jump in for a little bit. Like, wait a minute, are you streaming at the moment? Yeah. What movie? The Weatherman.
That was
shit! I haven't seen that one in too long of a. Sorry about that. I'm gonna bounce.
Hammer, if you're into fan films and old movies, you should come join us at least once for the Never Watch Alone.
Old movies and fan films?
I had so much fun when I was able to join for that one.
Yes,
it's been a riot.
We do a running commentary for fan films.
Yeah, like they quite literally watch on stream the fan film and slightly discuss it, and then give their opinions afterwards. Because since it's a fan film, they're not going to get a copyright claim for it.
Oh, yeah.
We watched
MST3K everything, and then review afterwards.
When I was there, we watched the one Star Wars one, and then the Predator one as well. And goddamn, the Predator one was okay because they set it back in like almost a time frame of like no one expects the Spanish Inquisition, but it was the British Inquisition.
It was set during the Dark Ages.
Yeah, the Star Wars film was fucking dope. Oh my god.
The X-Men story, and I told y'all about how
I believe.
I told y'all how one of the actors, Hunter 7, the guy to play Hunter 7, messaged us, and he said he enjoyed our review.
Oh, that's so fucking dope.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
the comments on the YouTube video.
Yeah. I think it was episode 6, I believe. It's fun. I love doing it. Like, if as long as I can do it, I'm going to keep doing Never Watch Alone. I'm going to keep doing this stream. I'm going to keep doing Minions in Space as long as I can do it.
It's a fun show to do.
Oh, I like jumping into Minions in Space because you guys be talking something Star Trek, and I'm like, yeah, so that one guy with the face and the hair.
It's Bane. Episode 7. It's if anybody wants to go look it up, it's episode 7 and Never Watch Alone. I think I like episode 6 a lot more. Judge Minty was fucking great.
Yeah, I missed out on that one. I really enjoyed the watch after though.
Yeah, that one was fucking amazing. I think Charles was a little meh, but Hammer, please pick 1, 2, or 3.
3.
3. All right, ladies
That
and
has
gentlemen.
been very common amongst the guests.
Yeah,
I'm going to change 3 up and actually see adding some effects to it. See if I can make it a little better. But
It's been on my mind. It's probably a bad choice to ask me today because I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about $2 bills, and I told them that I have a $2 bill and a $1 silver certificate in my wallet for good luck.
Nice.
$3. 3.
Well, also, if we're gonna go on the whole thing, most people are gonna think $3. It's like 3 because of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Look, I don't fucking deny my white trashiness of the Earnhardt. Junior's a dick. He can go fuck himself. But like Senior, it was a man's man. He's
they
a
can
legend.
drive, that's for sure.
You are white trash. We're still friends. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming out, and I appreciate you, Hammer, for coming on, and I appreciate everybody that came and watched.
Everyone prepare to sing along with Keith.
Yes,
indeed.
So, until next week, we're gonna get out of here. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.